It is August 28th, 2038. It has been almost 25 years to the day since the outbreak that changed the world forever. The cordyceps brain infection, otherwise known as CBI, started turning its victims into rage-filled, monstrous shells of the former person. Their humanity was lost. The infection spread faster than they could have predicted. Billions were killed. Most major cities with a surviving population started sprouting quarantine zones, heavy with military protection and rules. Those eventually faded away. Others tried living off the land, but a normal life could not be found. The current world is filled with terror, danger, death, and desperation. But despite all that, some have survived. Some have adapted and call this new world home. This is but a small story of some of those few. Life in this place is relatively simple, hard, but rewarding. This was once a camp where elementary schools or intermediate schools and the surrounding area would send their children before the big jumps to middle school and high school to get to know everybody. So it also housed church camps, theater camps, all kinds of camps. This place spans hundreds of acres and offers a wide variety of sights for the eye to feast upon. But in modern day, the current situation that we find it in, the campgrounds are surrounded by a winding circular wall made of sharpened wooden logs that surrounds the entire property. The two main gates entering in this campgrounds are manned by 2 armed guards at all times. It is a much different place than it started out as. But it's a new version of life, and a small community thrives within it. Security is taken very seriously, supplies are few and rationed, but a small speck of civilization does exist. Everyone has a role. Everyone contributes, because if you don't, you simply don't survive. Welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains. Welcome to the Blue Valley Campgrounds, and welcome to The Remains, a long shot set in the world of The Last of Us. Just a little disclaimer, this is 100% just an homage to a world we love. We obviously don't own any rights to any of the terminology that we are about to use. So, sorry, Naughty Dog, if you're upset by this, but this is just like I said, an homage to a world that we love and a story set within that world. This is the Blue Valley Campgrounds, a large acreage property that is filled with cabins and a large blue lake and a homemade football field with wooden bleachers set off to the side, a school hall where children run to and from, a mess hall where people laugh and have meals, a stable with horses that are taken care of, a farm with crops that are grown for the citizens and for the livestock that exist within. It seems like a pleasant place to live, but there's a darkness there. There is a pressure. There is a paranoia. This is still a dark world, and although the light does shine, it is a faded yellow. And especially on this day, gray, overcast day that we find ourselves in. It's late August, as I said, August 28th. But here in this part of the valley, some of the trees are already beginning to show the colors of orange and red and yellow that make up the autumnal theme of this place. And we zoom out from the actual campgrounds as we find ourselves a couple miles away, on top of a plateau, rain pouring down. Two riders on horseback are kind of making their way down a winding path. We see one of them, a man of short brown hair with a nice, somewhat trimmed brown beard, tall, skinny but lean with muscle, brown eyes, wearing kind of a flannel, and over that, like a dark green hunting jacket that's kind of pulled close with the collar pulled up as the rain is pouring down or beginning to do so. His horse, a brown painted horse with a white strip right down its long nose. His companion, riding astride a almost pure white horse, with very light gray spots that can be found, is our first character. Emily, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. Hi. All right. Jenna Baker is she's kind of a stout but built woman. She's got short, dark, almost black hair. She's got like an army green jacket on with a hood. Probably just kind of lost in thought as we're riding along there.
And as you're riding, Wes Donaldson, your companion, your best friend's husband, one of your good friends that you've known since your entire time being here in Blue Valley, he's kind of riding. Well, thank God that we're heading back, because I did not want to be caught out in this. I get so annoyed when I'm sitting out here in the rain.
I don't know, I kind of like it.
Yeah. You brooding types always do, so it kind of makes sense.
It's just nice to be outside, be with the world. It rains sometimes, so what? You take showers, don't you?
Well, one more it makes me, I guess.
That's true.
Hey, speaking of, her birthday's coming up, I know. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about maybe if you wouldn't mind watching the boys for a couple nights. I thought maybe me and her could head out to the camp entrance, the outposts out front, and you would know this to be one of the 3 outposts that kind of exists within a 10-mile radius of Blue Valley campgrounds. It's the camp entrance is what it's called, but it's really kind of this like small 1-floor wooden building that exists right at the edge of this like valley park, that is just was like kind of a welcome center for this like park, that is now, it's situated on one of the main paths that brings you to Blue Valley. So it is one of the outposts that is consistently manned by people here from the settlement. People go out there, spend like 2 to 4 days, and checking in twice a day, just kind of like, manning the security of this place, making sure that people know if someone's coming, making sure that, we know what is out there. So you would know when he says the camp entrance that is what he is referring to. I'm gonna lower the volume of this just a little bit. And he says, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind watching the kids for a couple days, I thought maybe she wouldn't, if I could convince her to leave, I could take her out to the park entrance, and,
I mean, of course, I'll always watch the kids. It's just, Morgan didn't usually go out on runs. That seems a little bit more dangerous than you're giving it credit for.
Listen, we haven't had, no one's seen anything. No one has checked in with any infected or any survivors in at least 3 months at the camp entrance, and it's about to start getting colder.
It's about damn time, right?
Yeah, Jenna, I know. All right, listen, I'll I'll
Look,
talk
I'll
to
do it.
them.
I'll do it, but you got to keep her safe.
I mean, what have I been doing the past 25 years?
I know. I know.
I feel
You
like we've
don't have
all
to
been
say
keeping
it.
each other safe.
But I have to say it. And usually there's two of us together that are used to doing this.
Yeah, I know.
Just be careful. But of course, I'll watch the kids.
You two have been. You went out. You went out on a run together. Runs for the Blue Valley campgrounds range from 6 hours to a couple weeks at a time. The run that you went on today is one of those 6 hour runs. Just kind of making your way down one of the many trails that exist in this valley. Kind of coming across some other campgrounds that used to be populated with people. There's a main kind of highway that you cross, and just checking for any signs of infected, any signs of survivors, any supplies that can be found. Just doing the checks that you need to do as runners. And didn't really find anything on this trip. Haven't found a lot on these shorter runs. Y'all have pretty much cleared out the nearby surrounding area of anything of use over the past 25 years, since the outbreak began. So the only runs that have really been successful as far as like gathering supplies that really matter on any level have been those runs that are, days, weeks at a time. But these smaller runs are still important just for security, if nothing else. And you definitely don't mind the excuse to get out and ride, be away from the walls. And as you are riding closer to getting back to the grounds, Wes kind of speaks up and he says, you are right. It does feel like it's been eerily quiet the past few months. I mean, none of the outposts have seen or heard of anything other than just a couple infected in months. No survivors. I mean, we're not getting anything on any of these runs. I mean, occasionally we would find, remnants of travelers or something, but it just seems now we're just getting out to stretch our legs.
I know. And I mean, it's not like this is just over. Everyone's kind of acting like, I don't know, like we haven't seen it in a while. Maybe we never will again. Maybe we're going to get lazy.
Yeah. Remember we were all having dinner in the mess hall and Zachariah just walked in the room? You remember that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like that could happen again, maybe. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I mean, we're not paying attention right now, are we?
Nope. No. Listen, all I know is that I cannot wait to see whatever Nana cooked up because I am hungry and
Oh
whatever
my
we
God.
packed for lunch was horrible. I've never
I
had
know.
that tuna salad should not have still been given to us.
No. I'm starving.
And as you continue to ride, you start to see the outer wall of the Blue Valley campgrounds, the wooden palisades that took multiple years to fully get the wall to where it is today. It's a formidable security measure, and you see the gate on top, and on top of the gate, kind of on this like awning walkway that's been built. You see two armed guard that you recognize give you a wave, and the gates start swinging open as you make your way into Blue Valley Campgrounds proper. And as that happens, the camera kind of zooms out and flies over these campgrounds, and you can see in the far north the farms that have been raised. You can see the dozens of cabins that have been gutted and some built anew, to house the citizens of the Blue Valley campgrounds, which is upwards of 250 plus people at this point. You see the large blue lake, which is really more of a large pond, but still quite formidable in size. You see the field that was dug out and cut from all the shrubbery that, you know, the very small season of 5 games, the 6-man football teams that play every year. That'll be starting up relatively soon. There is a life that is had here, like I said, and a comfortability that can be found, but as one of our characters was just speaking with an NPC, comfortable can be dangerous in these times. And as we continue to fly over the campgrounds, we find a large cabin with wooden walls and a stone basin that is the main hall of this place, where it's the welcome center. It's where the council meets. It's where large meetings happen. It's where sometimes where like events happen, interior events, and it's also where one of our characters finds himself currently assisting an individual, Rick Lawrence. Rick Lawrence, you know, to be show you Rick. Oh, here he is. Rick is an older man. Has kind of like white sideburns, but blonde hair and a big, thick mustache. Currently bleeding from the bicep from the strike that a hoof of a horse gave him about 5 minutes ago. He is in here with his daughter, Penny, who you know, and you know her to be the one of the council members. She is the head of animal husbandry and is the daughter of Rick Lawrence, and everything that she's learned from him, as he is and was a farmer in the area. And the one thing that he was never very good at was the animals. You would definitely know Penny because of your training, and you know you are useful with the animals, and so you are very familiar with Penny. You probably work with her often, and you are currently dressing Rick's wound and informing him that you know a few inches higher and we would be burying Rick. Michael, would you like to describe your character, please?
Yeah, sure. Zachariah Williams-Gavin is about 6 feet tall, blonde hair, with a pretty neatly kept beard. It's a little like a darker shade of blonde. Wearing a green like flannel overshirt that's like slightly too big for him, even though he's already like a pretty tall guy. Just really hot, you know what I mean? That's what I'm going for here. No.
Fantastic.
But yeah, just wrapping up, just finishing up the dressing at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So you are helping Rick, and he's kind of complaining like, well, no, Penny, I was listening to you, but if it takes us all damn day to get them into the pens, what's the use? Well, it's a lot of good it did it, Dad, because obviously Thunder got pretty upset, and, you know, if you just would have listened to me... Zach, will you tell him, please? It's just like, he could have died. This is not... He needs to listen to me.
Penny, do you really think that me saying anything is going to make your dad do anything that either of us logically know is the right thing, that isn't going to make his head hit the pavement, not attached to the rest of his body?
All right, yes, okay, I get it. I'm old, I'm stubborn, but I just... You're right, Doc, you're right. You're the one patching me up. You know the truth. I just get so annoyed about them. Damn horses.
It's refreshing that you admit it for once. All right, do not sleep on this arm for at least, I'm going to say, about a week. It's probably going to be more like a week and a half.
I can't sleep on my left side. Are you sure?
I mean, we can saw it off.
Penny kind of laughs and slaps his shoulder. Rick Lawrence, you, and she like starts taking him out. And as she opens the door to take Rick out, your husband Derek walks into the office. He was waiting to see you. Derek is a handsome man. He is a member of the council. He has kind of actually looks pretty similar to Wes. They are, which makes sense. They're buddies. Of course, they would look pretty similar. They are. He's got long brown hair, or not long brown hair. Short brown hair with a big beard. And kind of a square jaw, and he comes in and he gives you a big kiss. And then he gives you a hug and says, okay, so today's meeting sucked. That was horrible.
What up now? As I like finish like throwing out like the used bandages, cleaning up my station, going through the whole process.
Well, you're gonna hear all about it at the presentation tomorrow, but the horde has gotten pretty close. And they're, I don't know, it's looking like, it may be something we have to deal with.
How many days out?
At this point, according to the Ridge, and the Ridge is one of the outposts that he's referring to, it's like practically, it's like what it used to be is like an incredibly upper class like cabin that could be rented high up in the mountains. That is now one of your outposts, and it's called the Ridge, and he says, well, according to the Ridge, if it continues the way it's going to continue, 4 days.
Okay. Just take a moment, hesitate. Do they said who they're going to need to,
Well, I don't know. No, they haven't. We haven't decided any of that. We haven't even decided exactly how we're going to deal with it, whether it be sending a distraction team, a herding team. We don't know, but
yep.
I mean, you and I need to go, no matter what team. You know that.
I haven't. It's been. I haven't done a run in like 5 years.
I know, but this isn't a run. You're the only one who's seen. The rest of these people have been in these campgrounds, babe. But you came from the QZ. You have seen those things. You have traveled out there. That is an experience that is unmatched in this time, and you know that.
Lucky me being the experienced one then, right?
Listen, it might maybe we won't be sending a team. There is a possibility that we might be able to get one of the trucks running. And
do not bullshit me on this for sending a team. Clearly, you wouldn't be talking to me if that's what we're not doing.
Yeah.
You know that we're sending a team.
Yes, I do.
Thanks.
But I obviously wanted to tell you so that you weren't, bamboozled tomorrow. And you know that what he's referring to is the council meets twice a week to kind of like talk about things, have presentations or reports basically from the heads of the different departments. But what he's referring to, the presentation that he's referring to, is the monthly presentation where the council kind of tells everybody in the community what's going on. Like, it happens in the mess hall. It's like a big thing. And sometimes those are called impromptu, but especially in recent years, it's been pretty much just able to happen monthly. And so he says, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about it all tomorrow, but I just didn't want you to be surprised.
Okay. I mean, it's good because what does May think?
May is the one that's pushing for the team the hardest.
Of course. Yeah. What should be?
Yes.
Well, at least thank you for telling me.
Of course.
I appreciate it. As I like sit up on the like table that I have that's like kind of jerry-rigged to look like a...
Yeah. He comes forward and he puts his hand on your legs and he says, listen, no matter what happens, we have dealt with stuff like this before. This is gonna be fine, okay? Because we're gonna be there. So how can that be fine?
Sometimes you're actively very annoying, and
Yeah.
I really need to tell you that. Like right now, it's really frustrating talking to you.
Well, if I
sometimes.
wasn't so annoying,
Yeah,
then how would everyone else know how, put together and great you are?
that's a really good point. You're a really
Yeah,
good contrast.
exactly. I just make you
appreciate
look
that.
good. Yeah. And he gives you a
yeah.
big kiss, and then
Okay. Cooties. Gross.
He starts pulling your hand, and he's like, "Okay, I'm really hungry. Dinner time. Let's go." And he starts pulling you to the mess hall.
I hop up.
And then, as that happens, we zoom out yet again from the main hall, and we travel across the campgrounds to one of our residents' cabins. A small apartment, about 6 apartments each, kind of exist in these large cabin buildings, and so each apartment is relatively small, kind of a 1-bedroom apartment. Very like small living area, 2 rooms that I guess it's a 2-bedroom apartment, but you wouldn't want to call it that space wise, or square footage wise, I should say. But in one of these apartments, we see 2 people and 2 very smaller people. In the living room, at the kitchen table, we see a bigger man with blonde hair, thick beard, kind of big smile on his face. Theo Saunders the second. This is the brother of our other character who is sitting across from him while her 2 children play in the living room across the way. Angie, would you like to describe your character?
Morgan Donaldson, used to be Saunders, is a 36-year-old woman. She's got light blonde, very fine hair that's pulled back into a ponytail with the wisps coming out. Wearing probably just a loose kind of pullover white shirt with a tank top underneath because it's a little hot, even though it's middle of summer. You got her pegged, whoever said her birthday was coming up, because she is a Virgo. And so, yeah, she's just, smiling at her kids. She's got two boys. Theo is the oldest, and Frankie is the little one. And she, for as eerie and dystopia as this world is, she is quite comfortable in this settlement, and she is gonna do anything to keep it that way.
As you 2 are sitting across from the table, as I said, Theo and Frankie are off to the side, kind of just like playing with some wooden dinosaurs. It's so... The toys are so sad. These 25 years after Outbreak, the toys aren't fun anymore. But they're all they know, and so they love them. And also, I have a quick question for you that we can just kind of discuss right now. Because I don't technically know how this works. Would Theo the Third be a junior if it's his uncle that is named after him and not his dad? Like, is he like junior? Is he a Theo Junior?
Well, he would be the third because my dad was Theo.
No, I know, but like
he's Theo.
But would he also? But like if he was like if he was named Wes, he would be Wes Junior, right?
Well, yeah. So technically, he's just Theo then, but we
so it's
call
not
Theo
a junior.
Third.
So okay,
he's not anything because he's starting fresh from the bloodline.
Well, I
the
think
boy bloodline.
I think that a cute little thing that exists, if you're okay with it.
Okay, tell me.
Is that Theo, because he's the older one, right? He's 4. Theo's the oldest.
He's 4.
Yeah. Theo calls your brother Theo Uncle Junior.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
And then
That's so cute.
And then Theo calls Theo. Your brother calls your child Double J because he's Junior.
Okay.
I mean, no one else can call him
Junior,
Junior, but that's a little
yeah.
thing that exists between the two of them.
We'll call him Junior, and then Frankie, we call him Bubba.
Amazing.
And that's it. That's canon now.
That's canon. Okay, so he's just kind of laughing as Double J and Bubba are.
We're in the South. I feel like my Kentucky cousins are here.
And he kind of he laughs, and then the smile kind of fades as you are aware of the conversation that you just had as he finishes his sentence saying, "So yeah, 4 days if they're continuing the way that it looks like 4 days."
I mean, a lot can happen in 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. No, you're right.
Like, it's like this is just the new natural disaster. Who knows what can happen, what can shift, what can change.
Yeah, the meteorologists are always wrong. So maybe the ridge is wrong.
I mean, weathermen were always wrong
Exactly.
at one point. So
yeah, well, meteorologist is a
yelling at
weatherman,
him.
Morgan.
Oh, is that what you said? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You mumbled.
Okay, well, because meteorologist is a hard word to say.
Oh, yeah, it's so hard. Yeah.
Listen, neither of us made it past 6th grade, okay? The world kind of ended.
I was going into 5th. I was smart. I'm
All
still
right.
smart. Shut
Yeah.
up. She hits him on the...
And he kind of says, but seriously, you know if they put together a team, they're going to pick Wes, right?
I don't want to think about that.
I'm just
He's
trying
been
to-
gone, I don't know, like, how long this one's going to take. He and Jenna could be out there for days.
No, I'm sure they're going to be back tonight. It's fine.
Probably, but you never know. Just as easily as something could happen with a horde, something could happen with them. So I don't
I
want to think about it. I don't want to think about what
You never
could
want
or
to
could
think
not
about it,
happen.
but maybe... Okay.
Well, and look where it's got us. For 25 years, we've been fine, give or take.
Fine. I mean,
And she,
5
like,
years
looks
ago...
over.
5 years ago, we lost 12 people to an outbreak.
What do you want me to say?
I just want you
Yeah,
to
they're
be-
gonna take Wes. I know.
No, hey, listen, I
Wait,
just...
what? Can you just? I don't want.
Where's Dad going?
Nowhere. He's out with Jenna, with Aunt Jenna.
Okay, will he find more dinosaurs?
He absolutely will. He always does.
Occasionally, like arrowheads and what
He's
Wes
like the whole dinosaur.
and what Wes will call dinosaur bones are found like on his runs. Obviously, like they're not.
That's
much of
classic,
anything, but-
like being on the playground and digging up old wood chips and being like, "That's a fossil."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just make sure and tell him to bring them. So
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll tell him right now. I'll say it in my mind.
you can do that.
Yeah. You want to see?
Yes. Can you do it to me? Send me something.
Okay. Come. You got to come closer.
Okay. And he's kind of like
Yeah.
stands up and then
And
waddles
this is
on
Theo,
over.
that's-
This is Theo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I make him come as close as he can, and I say, "Okay, you got to look right into my eyes, okay?
Okay, I'm
The
looking.
only way we can do it." And I put my hands up to my head, and I focus real hard, and then I grab him and I poke him in the sides real hard.
No! Stop! No!
I told you I can speak to you in your mind. I knew you were gonna laugh.
He kind of wriggles out and kind of escapes and runs over to Frankie. And as he often does, he starts like poking Frankie in the side, like immediately, like passing it down the
Oh my God.
down the way. Theo just laughs and he says, "Well, okay, listen, I wanted to stop by and let you know, and also." Since Wes is not here, I thought I could help you take the kids to the mess hall, and I'm hungry, so can we go now?
Who wants to go with Uncle Theo to the mess hall?
Me! And then you see kind of Frankie dinosaur in his mouth look over. I'll eat!
Hey, all right, get your shoes on. Let's go.
And you all get prepared to head out, and we zoom out yet again. And Jenna, you and Wes stop by at the stables, and you return your horses. When you do, you see Penny Lawrence is there, and she's talking with her father, Rick, who has a freshly bandaged arm. And Penny kind of looks at you and smiles, and she brings over this large leather-bound book that she puts down in front of you that you sign your names and sign back in the horses. You also make your way to the armory. You are allowed to keep one handgun on you at a time, but any rifles are communal and need to be kept in the armory. And so you head over to the armory, and as soon as you walk in, Olive, who is kind of the keeper of the armory, she turns around and faces your general direction. You know that Olive is a blind woman, and she walks around this armory as if she had 20/20 vision. She knows exactly where everything is by the sound of their stride and by their smell. She can always tell who's entering. She is like, in these 25 years of this outbreak, and she hasn't been here all 25 of those years, but in these 25 years, she has like learned how to survive this world as a blind woman. And when she's walking like outside and like to the mess hall and stuff, she will either use her cane or use her seeing eye dog, Mr. Sir, who is kind of curled up into this side of the armory right now. He's a big German Shepherd. But when she's in this shop, with her sunglasses on, a third party would walk in and think that she was seeing. And Olive turns around and she kind of like tilts her head and she says, "Oh, Wes! Hi, Wes. Hi, Jenna."
Hi, Olive.
Okay, well, did you find anything? Did you get me anything?
Get you anything?
Yeah. You didn't get me anything?
No. No.
Jenna?
Did you get me anything?
Yes, I got you that rifle in your hands, and I will take it now.
Oh, here, I got you this. And I give it to her.
Haha, very funny. And she, like, quickly takes the rifle and, like, unchambers the bullets that are in it, and kind of counts them. Okay, no shots. Good job. And she takes the rifle from Wes and stuff, and she says, "I'm glad you guys are here because I am very hungry, and you're the last ones expected to come in tonight. So I'm gonna close out, and we're gonna go to dinner."
All right, yeah, I'm walking that way too.
Okay. She whistles, and Mr. Sir kind of comes to attention and walks over. Mr. Sir, when he's out and about, has this like vest on with one of those like those like hard plastic, like I don't know what I would call it, but like a harness like handle that comes up like a couple feet that she like grabs onto. Like that's how she uses him. She grabs on and they start walking out. She turns back and takes her keys and locks the armory, and you all make your way to the mess hall. And as you do, everyone finds themselves in the mess hall. It's a large open area filled with tables. All kinds of people are in this place. It is a nice communal, familial place. As always, there is a big buffet line where the cooks have set up the dinner for this evening, and people are already getting in line. the mess hall, as all of you know, is open for a 2-hour period at a time. And so with that 2-hour period, people are just kind of constantly coming in and out. And so it's kind of just has this like steady flow of full. Like it's just like it's constantly full, but it's never like overcrowded. But all of you find yourselves here in the mess hall together. Behind the mess hall line, you see Nana Adams. Nana Adams is this older black woman who has kind of like a blue tint to her hair. She also has 2 different color eyes. She has a brown eye and a blue eye. And she has been the head chef here at the Blue Valley Campgrounds for like almost 20 years now at this point. And she's just kind of like directing all of the cooks and everything. And as you all walk in, Morgan, you walk in and you are immediately actually, you know what? The first roll of the campaign. Morgan, make a sense check for me. Also, you're muted if you're talking.
Bummer. Oh, well, yeah, 5.
Yeah, with a 5, you do not notice and are immediately picked up from behind by Wes and kind of like spun around. And he's like, I told you I'd be back, and he gives you a big kiss on the cheek.
Jesus! You scared the crap out of me.
Theo and Frankie immediately are like, Dad! And he picks them both up at the same time and gives them kisses and kind of like, as he's very used to, kind of like ceremoniously like turns them towards you, Jenna.
Yeah, I would give them both a big hug and say, were you good for your mom today?
I was. Frankie was not.
Frankie, what did you do?
Yeah, what did Frankie do?
He stunk.
Well, that's not his fault now, is it?
You stink sometimes too.
Nuh-uh.
I stink sometimes.
And as you are all talking, Wes gets a big clap on the shoulder from his good friend Derek. As Derek and Zachariah both walk into the mess hall, and Derek kind of looks at Wes and says, good to see you, bud, and comes in, and they give each other a big hug, and all of you are kind of standing in the open entrance to the mess hall, reunited, and here ready for dinner.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm starving.
Y'all go first. I'll go find us a table.
Do you want me to get you something?
No, I had something earlier. I had an apple. I'm not really feeling very hungry.
I had an apple. You need to eat more than an apple. I'll get
well,
you.
I mean, I had before.
You find us
Jenna,
a table.
don't...
I'll get you.
I make sure I'm going in line.
Yeah, Wes picks up both the kids. All right, boys, let's go eat, and he puts them on his shoulders, and they go to the table. Those of you who get in line, you see a relatively simple layout. Some beef that has been made into like some like hamburger steaks with some gravy on it, some mashed potatoes, and a nice heaping spoonful of corn, which is in pretty much every meal, as it is one of the crops that you grow here in the Blue Valley Campgrounds. Half, if not over half, of the crops that you grow here at Blue Valley actually go to like the livestock and the horses. But you still get a good helping of it as well. But a lot of the food that you get is from hunting and scavenging, and you also just don't need as much as the livestock and the horses do, surprisingly. And because there's about, in this place, there's about like somewhere between 15 to 20 active horses at a time. There's a kind of like a family of cows that has lasted through generations, so there's like roughly around like 3 to 5 cows at any given time. around 10 pigs at any given time, a chicken coop that is pretty full at all times, and that's about it. You use them sparingly, and those are like those animals are mainly kept alive, especially the cows. They're dairy cows. This beef that you are having is actually quite rare. A cow in the last month or so was just died of natural causes in old age, and this is like meat that has been frozen, has like still been kept good, but you're running low on that resource, and you all gather your plates. The dinner started a bit ago, and so it's always busier at the beginning than it is at the end, so there's not a lot of tables available, so Morgan goes and finds one of the only tables, and all of you who are in line kind of gather around at that place, as there's not a lot of other places to sit down. Wes comes over and he puts down 3 plates that he was like carrying as the kids were like walking underneath him, and he puts them down and kind of leans over and gives you another kiss on the cheek, and he kind of rubs your shoulders and says, "You sure you're good, babe?"
Yeah, I'll pop up and get something before they close if I get home.
No, I got you a plate. Don't worry. I set a plate right in front of
Jenna,
you.
I said, thank you.
I know, but you would have had to get up, and you've been doing so much all day. I got you a plate. Just eat the food.
Kind of over Morgan's shoulder, Wes looks at you, Jenna, and just mouths.
I wish y'all would quit fussing over me.
And Theo is there as well, and you all gather around to eat. Zachariah, you being a bigger guy, the Donaldson boys love to use you as a jungle gym.
Great.
Oh, great.
And
Yeah,
unless
do you like my kids?
I mean, they and you like can definitely choose to stop them if you want, but that doesn't stop them from like definitely trying to like climb all over you at times.
I'll allow it. I'm kind of scanning the room, I'm looking for May.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make a search check for me. For those of you, I guess I should say, mechanics-wise, for the viewers, we are using a random system that I have randomly created for this. It is kind of based on D&D 5e. There are 5 core stats instead of 6, and then abilities that are based off of those stats, and a proficiency bonus that allows them to be better at some. It's all usually D20 rolls. Each item has stats that I just randomly came up with. They do have an AC, they do have HP, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're gonna hear me say random things like do a search check, do a vibe check, because I had to make a vibe check. So that's what you'll be hearing. Maybe on our socials we can release like an example character sheet just so you can see what we're talking about. But anyway, what does your search check say?
It's a grand old 14.
14 is easy enough. You know May, you know where to look. You see May having just recently entered over talking to Nana Adams. Just kind of probably gossiping or something. And as she walks away, she is heading actually straight in your direction to say hi to her son. So she continues to walk forward. But with the 14, I want to say you notice something else. You notice that... I'm going to turn this in just slightly. You notice that May, when talking to Nana, is quite stressed, and as she walks closer to your table, like exhales and like puts on a smile, and like then walks over. And as she walks over, she just comes up behind Wes and gives him a big hug. You all see May Donaldson, who I will show you now. May is a very sweet little old lady who has a lot of spunk and a lot of grit. She might be old in age, but she still has all of her mental faculties about her quite well. And she is this small, like 5'5" skinny woman, but she's tough. Mae Donaldson and her husband Tim were the owners of the Blue Valley campgrounds when it was an actual campground, and is one of the founders of the settlement Blue Valley after the outbreak. And she is also the grandmother of Theo and Frankie, the mother-in-law of Morgan, and the mother of Wes. So she comes up behind Wes and gives him a big kiss on the cheek, and then kind of just puts her hands on his shoulders. All right, how's everybody doing?
Well, just great, May. It's good. The beef is what a treat.
It's chewy. I know.
Well, it's chewy, but we never have it to begin with, so to have it is just...
Yeah, well, once it's been in the freezer for a long time, kind of loses a little bit of a sustenance. But hey, at least we have a freezer, so...
I think it's delicious.
Well, thank you, Jenna. How did the run go today? You take care of my boy?
Of course, always do.
Yeah, I know. You causing much trouble?
It was all right, oh yeah, he was the biggest trouble on the trip, really. We didn't have any trouble other than him.
Of course. Well, that's to be expected. She kind of playfully slaps him on the face. Goes over to both of her grandkids, gives them both kisses on the cheek. They call May Mimi. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do.
And she gives them both big squeezes. And May kind of takes an exhale, and she looks over. You see her kind of glance in Derek and Zachariah's direction, just because Derek and Zachariah are not the only ones directly kind of related to her, and even Jenna is not. But Jenna has been maybe even more than May has been a mother-in-law to Morgan. May has been a motherly figure to you, Jenna. You don't know where your parents are, if they are even alive. And May always wanted a daughter, and kind of really took that role in your life. And you would know that May, actually, I'm not going to say that.
No, you have to.
Nope. So you would know that May is... oh, sorry, no, not that you would know. I already said I'm not saying that. You almost got me again. So May just kind of... anyway, she looks over in Derek and Zachariah's direction, and then kind of has this moment of Zachariah, you would recognize this look of I maybe shouldn't say what I'm about to say. Oh yeah, it's Zach and Derek. Derek already told Zach. Okay, never mind.
I am clearly not totally enthused about things.
Yeah.
And in the middle of carving my piece up. Hey, May. Mind if I talk to you afterwards about just some supplies that I wanted to run by you?
She kind of looks at you knowingly and says, of course, sweetie, yes.
Mm-hmm.
May looks at the rest of you and she says, let's really enjoy our dinner let's really enjoy our dinner this evening, and gonna be a big day tomorrow. She kind of just knowingly nods at all of the adults at the table, knowing that the beans have been spilled to most of everybody, and Wes kind of looks up incredulously, and she just kind of pats him on the shoulder, and she's like, I'm sure your wife will fill you in. So just want to say I love y'all, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
May, can
now, actually, or
Well, yes, I will. I mean, if you want to, we can. You can. I don't
Hey,
want to
now's
interrupt.
great.
I don't want to interrupt.
No, now's actually really great.
Wonderful. Oh, sorry,
By all
Morgan. Were
means.
you about to?
No, by all means. Please.
Okay. All right. Well.
We'll chat later.
She kind of like pats your hand, and then she nods to you, Zach, and starts to walk away, and expects you to follow her. Derek, as they walk away, Derek kind of looks at all of you and just kind of sighs and says, Zach's not too happy about the current situation. And Wes is like, well, what's going on?
Wait, what is going on, you guys?
I look at Frankie and Theo. Are they pretty entertained right now?
They are actually kind of paying attention to the conversation, but they're like done with their food, and so Theo, kind of like taking a cue, is like kind of nods his head and is like, all right, boys, come on, and gets up and he like stands up and like goes and like takes the boys over to like go just like play tag or something on the other side or something like that. And then now, like, with that happening, Wes is very much like, okay, what's going on?
Okay, I know y'all said you haven't been finding a lot on your runs or even any perimeter checks. No patrol has really been, running into too much, but apparently there was a horde spotted coming our way, and Theo says it's about 4 days out, but these things, I don't want to get too worried too soon, because these things have come and gone and passed, and we've been fine, and it's no
You
sense
see that
getting
Wes
worked
kind of
up,
like
but-
Wes kind of like puts a hand on his forehead. And
no,
looks,
it's okay. Don't.
and he
don't
looks
do
over
that.
he looks over to Derek and he says, "Well, I know why Zach's pissed now." And then he looks back at you, Morgan, and says, "Listen, I know you're right. Anything could happen. Anything could happen." And like this is like
Or not happen.
this is a very common thing between the two of you, of him like going to worst case scenario right away, and you like needing to kind of like rein that in him. And as this conversation happens, and as you guys are kind of starting to come to terms with this and talk about this, we cut over to May and Zach as she kind of takes you to just the opposite, like just a side, like the mess hall's a pretty big place. You can find a corner where it's not so great, and she kind of turns to you as she reaches the wall, and she says, "Okay, now before you say anything, I just want to say, I know that you know, and I know what this is about. The reason why I am pushing so hard for it, Zach, is because the reports are showing that this is a large horde, and our walls, I don't feel like you helped us a lot with those, but they are still just wooden walls, and if they get into this place, I mean, what would we do?"
And you're positive they're coming just directly in our path.
I mean, you know these things, they're a little bit unpredictable, but it's always better safe than sorry. And like you're already like, Zach knows this. Zach knows what he's upset about. Like, it's kind of one of those situations where like the two sides of each argument is we do something about it now to avoid something happening, and then the other very legitimate point of view that Zach is probably having, correct me if I'm wrong, is like, or by doing anything you're stirring the hornet's nest and this might not even be an issue, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I just kind of take a moment, breathe, and you can see, I neglected to mention this in my intro, you can see that there's a very faint now, but a diagonal scar that runs like across his lips.
Ooh, okay.
You're sending me, and you're sending Derek. You're sending both of us.
Well, and you see, go ahead and roll a vibe check.
I feel like so many things in the original game could have probably been solved if they
By
just
a
did
vibe check.
Just add a vibe check, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty groovy. That's a dirty 20, baby.
Ooh, with a dirty
Ooh.
20, you definitely notice this. She is a... When you say you are choosing to send me and Derek, she, like, pauses for a moment and kind of, like, considers saying something. And in that moment, knowing your husband as well as you know him, you know that she wasn't trying to send both of you. She was just trying to send you. And Derek was like... And Derek must have been like, if Zach's going, I'm going. And so she, like, almost says something but doesn't, but that pause is enough for you to know. I'm sending both of you because you are strong, capable.
Do not bullshit. I realize where I am. We're not doing this. You're not. I take a moment. But I get it. I this is why you were elected over and over again. You can make really shitty calls. But
Well, luckily for you, Zach, I also chose to make it a council, and it's not just my decision. So maybe you'll get your way. And she walks away.
I take like a step, and as contained as I can do it with both her hearing me without.
Of course, yeah.
If I lose him, I'm not coming back here.
She, like, her demeanor changes when you say that for a second, and she, like, nods in a, like, basically in this nod she's saying, fair. And she, like, walks away. And
I'm
go ahead.
I'm headed. I'm going to our place.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. I'm condensing things so we don't have to like spend X amount of time. I'm gonna go back to my place, look under our bed, get out my bow, and then just head out to the back and start practicing.
Okay, fantastic.
Shooting.
I love that. Do you try to try to hide the fact that you're leaving, or is it okay if Derek?
I think I'm angry enough that it doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm probably not thinking.
So Derek definitely like clocks that you're leaving, and he like kind of sighs a little bit, and you know that he knows where to find you.
Yep.
And so we kind of cut back to that table, and you guys have been talking about this a little bit in this amount of time. And Wes kind of says, I know where my mom's coming from, but, you know, maybe we just, I don't know, what if we all just, like, I don't know, just, like, stay silent in the camp. Just, like, don't do anything, and we don't make any noise, and we just hope that they pass by. Like, why can't we try that? And Derek,
that's arguably more risky. Puts more people's lives at risk if it goes wrong.
Derek says, exactly. You'd be putting that horde next to children within yards, hundreds of yards, yes, but within yards of family members. If a single one of those walls came down, a single section of one of those walls came down, it would be... And you all, everyone at this table knows why Derek takes a pause in this moment. Because Derek, 5 years ago, in the outbreak that occurred, lost his mother, who was the chief doctor of this place before Zach took over. And he kind of pauses and he says, we can't risk this community. Not again.
I think it's the right call. It's not an easy one, but I do think she's right.
Roll a search check for me, Morgan, as this conversation's kind of happening.
fucking keep like just playing with the dice and rolling like 16, 19, 16, 17. That was you said a what check? A search check?
Yeah.
It was a natural 1 + 4, so.
Oh no. Okay, well your kids are next to you and like have rejoined you at the table. But you don't see Theo and you don't see where he went. Not as in he didn't like just leave them alone. Like clearly he
like sent them.
Clearly he brought them back or sent them back and is now gone, but you didn't notice enough to like notice where he went or who he left with.
I'll look at what did we call him? Junior?
Yeah, I mean, Theo calls him that. You can call him whatever you want. I think it's I think it's cute if it's just a thing between the two of them. I think it's also something you can do if you want. I thought it was cute.
I feel like I would have just started calling him Junior.
Yeah.
Just because of the like, it's just something that I hear all the time.
Of course, yeah.
You never really call anybody their names.
Oh no,
anyway, ever.
If you were to call him like you would never call him Theo.
Yeah, he would.
When he's in trouble, you probably call him Theodore.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So I'll
you probably call him Theodore Donaldson the first or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah, first of your name. I'll look at Theo and I'll be like, Junior, where oh, what do we? Sorry, I want to use these names. What did we say that he calls?
Uncle Junior.
Uncle Junior. Where did Uncle Junior go?
With Chris. And you know that Chris is Chris. You know that Chris is Chris Knight. Chris Knight is a somewhat recent addition to Blue Valley. He is a tall, lanky dude with thick black hair, black beard. He's kind of pale. I
don't like him.
And he and Theo have been like romantically kind of every once in a while. It's like not a public thing, it's not an announced thing. Theo hasn't even said anything to you about it yet, but this is a small community. People see things. People have seen Chris and Theo leaving the mess hall once it's turned into a bar at night and stuff like that. So he goes, with Chris. And Chris is, in the community, the reason why Theo would know Chris is because Chris is one of the workers in the main hall. And so the main hall is where what is it called, actually?
It's the main hall.
No, the school hall and workshops. Because the school hall is a building, but there's also workshops in there, and where like just like simple crafting is done, whether it be like arrows, stuff like that. And he just happens to work in one of those, and so he knows Chris because
he's a craftsman.
Yeah, they're in the same building. He's good with his hands.
God.
Hey,
all
listen,
right.
you all went there.
Listen. I didn't. I went there definitely because.
He said, "Yeah, he went with Chris."
Okay, well, stay with me, all right? We're gonna go back home soon, all right?
Okay, where's Mimi?
Mimi's talking to Zach.
Okay.
Yeah, they were gonna hang out for a little bit. Don't worry.
Is Mimi not coming over tonight?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
She's very busy. We got the presentation.
Okay, are you gonna tell me a story tonight?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which one do you want to hear?
I want to hear about. Oh, I don't know. Surprise me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about it.
Okay, think hard, Mom, because I want it to be good.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Is it ever not good? Have I ever disappointed you?
Never.
And I'll kiss his head and like ruffle his hair and I'll probably hold. Frankie's getting tired. It's getting late.
Frankie.
So I'll probably.
As soon as you put Frankie in your arms, he's asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angie in real life, her ovaries are like screaming.
My ovaries, yeah, definitely. Oh boy.
So Derek kind of stands up and he says, "All right, I love you all. I'm gonna go talk to my husband and make sure
Good
that.
luck.
Thank you. Okay.
Have a good night.
Let's see what time I go to bed tonight. And he walks away and heads out of the mess hall.
Is the mess hall closing up? Is it like, are we getting toward the end of the 2 hours?
You are getting near.
What happens?
You are getting near the end of 2 hours, but it doesn't really ever close up because after the final dinner, most nights the mess hall kind of turns into like a bar for the adults. So people are still
I imagine it's just like
chilling.
a living room. Like you just come and sit
it's a common
and
room.
chat.
People,
okay.
It is pretty much available 24/7. Just the kitchen is locked after.
So they're not
time.
serving.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the mess hall, you won't find people in there 24/7 because why would you just be randomly sitting in the mess hall at 3 a.m.? But
Insomnia?
yeah, I guess so. But technically, that is a thing that can happen. The mess hall is the only building outside of the cabins and the bathrooms that are like 24 hours accessible. The main hall, the entire building is closed off. So is the school hall and workshop. So is the metal workshop. So is the armory. The only like building outside of your own homes or the bathrooms that is like always available is the mess hall.
Okay.
So people are still there, but like most of the people are leaving, and like Nana has left, and like speaking of. Not speaking of Nana, but speaking of people unwinding, someone kind of plops down, like, I imagine you sitting at, like, picnic table kind of place, you know, where you, like, put in your legs to sit down. Someone, like, plops down opposite, putting their back against the table and, like, looking towards you, with a beer in her hand, as you see, Vicky Webbs.
Jenna's face. I immediately.
Vicky Webbs, a very boisterous redheaded woman, kind of a little bit bigger, but like in a muscular way. And she kind of like leans back, and she says, "Hey y'all, how we doing?" And she is Vicky Webbs is from Jersey, and has made her way down to Tennessee and has had a crazy story. She's pretty recent, within the past 10 years, and she's like, "Hi guys, how we doing this evening?"
Hi Vicky. See, you're drinking already.
Well, it's been a long day.
Let her drink. She can drink what she wants.
Yeah, let me drink.
Yeah, I'm not taking the drink away.
She kind of like nudges you.
Who wins the voucher? Is that you?
Oh my god! No, she goes.
That's Jocelyn.
That's Jocelyn.
Oh my god! Stop it!
Oh come on, let me drink. Well, have you all heard the the big news? And she kind of like takes a sip. Like, doesn't say what she obviously doesn't say anything because of the kids. Even she has
all right,
tact
I'm
enough.
We'll catch you.
Sure. Sorry about
Jenna.
that. Sorry.
You two stay and talk. I'm gonna.
I've had a really long day too. I'm gonna head home with you and the kids. If that's all right.
All right. Oh, sorry.
I'm
don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. You did. It's just been a long day, and Jenna, you should stay. You should stay and chat.
Well, I at least want to go home and change my clothes. I mean, I came right from the run to here.
As you two are like talking, like Vicky has like gotten up and has walked away.
Oh God, you.
Why would you offer me up to stay here?
I'm not offering you up. I just.
Wes kind of walks up and nudges you in the elbow, and he's like, "Maybe because my wife wants to see you have a good time every now and again, Jenna."
Well, having a good time is what has her on my back all the time.
She's nice enough, okay? She's a lot, but she's nice. Vicky's nice.
She's nice.
All right. I'll have a good time when I didn't just come home from a 6-hour run. How about that?
Okay, but if you go home, you better change and you better come back here and you better find her.
Fine.
I want you out of the house.
As you all head back to your cabin, we cut to as arrows are hitting a tree in the back of one of the council houses. You know what? For fun, go ahead and roll an attack with your bow.
Great. Now
And I would say, I mean, you're going against a tree. You're like roll it at advantage.
Oh, bless you.
It's not a moving target.
Natural 20.
Hey, okay, well, natural 20.
I don't need it.
You are so mad in this moment, Zach, that you, like, release, it embeds itself right in the center of a knot on the tree. And then you exhale slowly, knocking another arrow, pulling it back. And classic Robin Hood, you split the arrow and the knot of the tree right down the middle with your second arrow. And you hear from behind him, "Damn, that was a good shot."
Wasted an arrow.
Well, I mean, if you did it in that way and someone saw it, did you really waste it? Can we... Oh, hey, babe. You look good. And he kind of, like, comes to you and, like, saddles up next to you. So we are going to have to talk about it.
About our very statistically more than likely impending horrific deaths. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure.
Actually, no. There's a couple things that I'm actually really mad about. First one. Hey, how about we play a game? Why don't you guess the first reason I'm really mad?
I hate this game.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say before I play this game, I'm not trying to invalidate any of your feelings just because I disagree with them.
God.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Secondly, okay, the first reason why you're mad, I dropped a big bomb on you, and then I put us in a public setting where we couldn't really digest it.
You're close. I'm going to add a little footnote to that reasoning. I was apparently the only one that was supposed to go on this run. That was something that was conveniently left out of your...
You see his, like, oh shit, I've been caught face.
Yeah, that's reason number one. And I walk over to the tree and I pull up my arrow.
Okay, alright, listen. Can you truly blame me, though? I can't...
I'm going to let you sit in that question in just a second.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you sit in this. Who the fuck do I have left, Zach?
You're closer to... I mean, you have Wes and everyone
Wes
else.
isn't you! Wes isn't my mom. Wes is a good friend of mine, yes. But the only... Wes is there for Morgan. Wes is there for Theo and Frankie, as he should be. You're the only one that's there for me. And only me. I mean... Can't lose you. And if I am gonna lose you, I want to be by your side.
See, kind of like wave the arrow at him, like the point of it.
Yeah.
That's the part. It's really frustrating me. I can't decide if it's better that I die alone or that I die with you. It's really...
I can't believe you can't decide that.
The answer to the reason, second part, why I'm really mad is that May is right. And by extension, you're so right.
Listen, I've been on the council with her for 5 years now. I understand how frustratingly right May can.
It is better. Chances of things going smoother is better if you are there. So, congratulations.
I mean,
I'm still mad, but you are in the right again.
Well, I really wish that, cameras were still a thing, because I would love to video you saying that.
Nice.
Maybe if we
Nice.
can go to the main hall, and if you could broadcast that over the PA system, that would be nice. If you'd be willing to do
Yeah.
that,
We can
maybe.
do that, but you have to specify beforehand that you lied to your really cute and very
Oof.
smart husband and it is a really devastating moment
Okay.
on your behalf. And you got caught from vet boy and an old lady. So that's...
Okay, you are much more than a vet boy, and you know that. Okay, listen. I do want to ask you a serious question, but I'm afraid of the answer. And you kind of like swallows. I feel like for my personal sanity, I need to be there with you. But I want to know, and I want to know the truth. Would I be a distraction? Would you be in more danger if I was there?
That's what I keep asking myself. I mean, it's weird, you know, decades into this shit, we're still wrestling with these dumb things about... See, this is why most of those creepy assholes that like eat people and shit, they don't do this.
Yeah. But then the world, it's filled with those creepy assholes. I mean, that's when the world has truly ended. We're the only ones keeping it going because of these annoying ass conversations. Without annoying ass conversations, we wouldn't really be alive. He kind of smirks.
So fucking aggravating.
Can I try? And he gestures to the bow.
Hands it over.
Okay. He...
I'll
Going
step
to-
behind him, like just a little bit. Can you remember?
Okay. Does my elbow go, is it perpendicular or do I put it at an angle?
Just kind of naturally how it goes. It's at a
Okay.
slight angle up.
Okay. And then he's, with you helping him, he's gonna roll this at advantage. That is a dirty 20. So it flies through the air and just hits like a little bit above the knot in the tree that you hit. Oh my god! This is the first time I'm not gonna have to walk 30 feet to find the arrow that I just fired.
Okay. See, I'm glad that you're getting your excitement out of the way, because you do this in the field, we're not gonna have a good time.
Oh, and he kind of sort of like sighs and goes over and grabs the
I
arrow.
wrap like my arms around the back of him and kind of like bury my face in the back of his hair.
Leans back. You kind of just both breathe each other in for a moment, and then you grab the arrow, and he asks to go inside, and you guys go inside. The Donaldson home, you two arrive, and Wes kind of plays with the boys for a bit, and then picks them up, and he's like, okay, time for bed, and takes them to their room and tucks them in and gives them both big kisses and hugs, and he pulls out an arrowhead that he 100% has given Theo already, that he found and then put back in his pocket so that he could then hand it to Theo and said, I found this for you, bud. And Theo says, oh wow, Dad, thank you, and he like kind of puts it in his drawer, like that, just like as it pulls out, it just like clangs with like rocks and like arrowheads that have been found, and he puts them back.
It loves rocks.
And he gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he comes to the doorway, and he kind of puts a hand around your waist and gives you a kiss and says, I'll be at the table, and kind of walks past and goes to the kitchen. And Theo's just kind of like sitting there waiting expectantly. Frankie's asleep.
Yeah. Frankie didn't make it.
Yeah, Frankie's been asleep since you left the dinner. What story does, and you don't have to say the full story, obviously, but what kind of story does Morgan tell Thea?
Oh no.
Yeah.
We'll tell a story. So Morgan will go and sit on the edge of Theo's bed, and tuck the sides in and get them all settled, and she'll look at him and she'll say, "Did I ever tell you the story about the two princesses who got lost?"
You told me the story about the princess, the prince, the two princes, the three princesses, but I don't know if you ever told me the story about the two princesses.
Okay. Well, this is a little story about two princesses.
Okay.
And they lived in the most magical kingdom. It was the best life they could live. They lived next door to each other. They had twin castles. And one day they were playing in we'll call this princess, we'll call her Princess Jamie. And Princess Jamie and Princess Megan
Okay.
were over at Princess Jamie's house. And
Princess Jamie and Princess Megan, are they best friends?
they are best friends.
Okay.
They love each other. They've known each other since even maybe before they were born.
I don't know. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow is right. Yeah. And Princess Megan was over at Princess Jamie's house playing one day, and, they heard something real scary. And they didn't know what it was because they were too little to understand, but their kingdom was under attack. And Princess Megan's dad and Princess Megan's mom rushed over to Princess Jamie's house and grabbed Princess Jamie and grabbed Princess Megan and swooped them up to safety.
Was it the mushroom monsters? And you know that you have told Theo and Frankie about the mushroom.
Yeah, it was mushroom monsters, but it was even scarier because they didn't have their big mushroom crowns on yet.
Oh,
And they just kind of looked like regular old people.
that
So it
is
was a little
scary.
confusing for everybody. But luckily, Princess Megan's mom and dad got Princess Megan and Princess Jamie to safety, and they traveled for days and days and months, what felt like years, until they came upon a new kingdom. And this new kingdom had a beautiful queen named Queen Margaret and a handsome, handsome prince. And they had a new home, safe from the mushroom monsters and safe from, anything that might hurt them. And Princess Megan and Princess Jamie lived happily ever after. And they got married to their handsome, handsome princes and princesses and
Did they have little princesses and
Wow.
princesses?
They did. Yeah. And they lived their happy, happy lives, happy, happy, safe lives for the rest of their days.
That's a good story. See him kind of like starting to fade away.
Yeah. And I'll kiss him on the head and close the door, leave it cracked a little though.
Yeah. As
it's
you
sick.
walk out the door, you see that Wes is not at the kitchen table, but is kind of like leaning against the wall with his head back. He kind of looks over at you and smiles. That is a good story. I like a happy ending.
I mean what I said. This is a safe place, and it will keep being a safe place. And I'll go over to him and try to hug him and rest my head on his chest.
Brady needs my help in the morning. I need to go. Nate's not feeling good. Nate's sick, and he needs a partner for his run. It's only gonna be a few hours, not as long as today's, but he needs my help, and he asked me personally, so I think I'm gonna help him out. Is that alright? So I'm not gonna be at the presentation.
Well, that's up to you.
Well, babe, I don't want to upset you though.
No, you're not gonna upset me. You're never gonna upset me for doing what you need to do for this community. But I don't know this. I don't want to be shaken, but I'm shaken. You know, and
It's been a long time since we've had something like this happen to us. It started to
Even-
feel like maybe things were getting back to normal.
yeah, I feel like I need to do something.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know, something about that idea that was tossed around with like the being quiet and the like I know that's not a solution, but I don't know, maybe there's something we could organize to keep everybody, happy or distracted or something while all that's going on and just everybody feeling like this is still a haven.
Anybody can figure out a more efficient way to do things. It is you. And he kisses you on the forehead.
What is going on with Jenna?
I don't know. Listen, I think that Jenna just doesn't like somebody who has a big personality, and Vicky's got a really big personality. But I think it's kind of cute. Her and Sean have been playing back and forth for so long, and they've never made a move, and so Vicky's willing to make a move. I say she should go for it.
I think Jenna's scared. Honestly, I don't know if she can handle it.
Yeah. Jenna is not afraid. I can say that.
Well, clearly.
The only time I've ever seen Jenna afraid is when you're in danger. And he kind of like walks away after saying that, like, he clearly doesn't realize the, like, he says that very casually, as if it's just fact. But that kind of like hits home for you for just a second. Okay, well, today was long, and if Reggie's getting his sleep, Reggie is his horse, and I guess I should give mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up for a little bit. I want to jot some stuff down about this. My mind is going now.
Of course. Is it alright if I go to bed?
Oh yeah. Good night.
Hey, you know I love you, right?
I love you. Then.
One day you'll be able to say that without like making it a bit, and then he walks away.
I love you.
Still a bit. Then he walks into his room and goes to sleep. And Jenna, as Morgan kind of spends the rest of her night digesting, do you just find yourself at rest for the evening, or do you make your way back to the mess hall?
No, I would probably know that Morgan's probably going to pay attention to whether I leave or not.
Shut up! I have things to do. I have writing thoughts that I want to write down.
I have like a little flask hidden away.
Yeah.
Got my
And I just kind of, I change my clothes and I leave with my flask, but I just kind of take a walk around the campground. I don't actually go to the mess hall.
I would say with that little walk around the campground, you don't notice Vicky. But at one point you kind of see a figure moving towards you. And he kind of puts up a hand and waves. And you see Sean Wynn, kind of approach you. Sean joined,
Okay.
Sean, here, I'll show the stream, Sean.
I'm Team Sean. Sorry, Vicky.
Yeah, for real.
Sean Wynn, he kind of showed up at Blue Valley when you and Morgan were kind of like 18, 19 years old. He was this mysterious, brooding guy who was kind of like this heartthrob. Eventually you realize that, he wasn't really brooding. He was actually just like a really calm, centered guy, former Green Beret. So he's very quiet, but very kind, when he does choose to speak. And he kind of just walks up and he waves his hand and he says, "Hey, Jenna."
Hey, Sean.
Um,
How are you taking things?
uh,
I
yeah.
hand him the flask as I ask.
He takes it without missing a beat. Takes a sip. Yeah. Sylvia told me what happened. Guess we'll all be talking about it tomorrow.
I think we're all talking about it tonight. Is the thing.
Yeah, things don't really tend to stay secrets around here very long.
What are you doing out here?
You know me. I just couldn't sleep. I'm just doing a, and you kind of see the direction that he came from. You know Sean well enough to know that he's doing an interior perimeter check. He's just voluntarily by himself walking the interior of the walls. You know me.
Right. Well, yeah. I told Morgan I would go to the mess hall and socialize, but you know me, so I had to
do.
sneak out somehow.
So he takes another. He grabs the flask without even really offering it, and takes another sip and gives it back. So this is your socializing. Hi, I'm talking to you. You can say it happened now.
All right. I got one on the books. Now I don't have to socialize again for another, I don't know, 3 days. Is that how
years?
it works? Something like that.
Oh.
A few years would be great. I like your system.
Yeah. Do you think if they make a team that you'll go?
I mean, if that's what people think should happen, then of course I'll go.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen a group horde in years. It's only just been little small packs here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're really going to take care of this, we're going to need a good amount of people. People aren't going to like that.
Alright, well, I was about halfway through. I just saw you. I think I'm gonna keep going.
All right. Can I just take the rest of your walk with you? Is that okay?
I'd be honored. I mean,
I'll
yes.
hand him the flask back.
Thanks, not the most charismatic of guys, but you, Angie. You
Morgan pops up from behind the tree.
You continue to take your walk with Sean. The evening comes to a close, and you all will find yourselves asleep for the night before the next day. And that is where we're going to take a little bio break.
Hey.
So lots of drama, lots of stuff already coming to the surface. We're loving it. What's gonna happen? So stay tuned. We're not gonna be gone for long. So stand up, stretch, get some water, and we will be right back. Hello, welcome back to Charmed Persons. I'm not just gonna anonymously start this time. So we are back from break. Where we left off, our characters were introduced. Their families, loved ones, friends were introduced. The world of Blue Valley Campgrounds was introduced, and night came. You all have a night's sleep. Morgan, you wake up in the morning to Wes being gone.
Where was he? What was the name of the person that he? Brady.
He went on a run with Brady. So you see that he's left you a note.
Good morning to you too.
Frankie and Theo are already up and playing on the floor in their room.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you walk in, Frankie starts crying. Because he clapped like, oh, now mom's here. Okay, well now I need now the stuff that I've been waiting for. Change me. Do your mom stuff now. Immediately pay attention to me. So he's cranky this morning.
That's fair.
Jenna, you wake up. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jenna probably just walks out the front door, opens the door across the hall, walks into Morgan's apartment, and the morning has started. And yeah,
I'll
the
start
two-
making breakfast for the. Wait, no, we're gonna go to the mess hall.
Yeah,
Never mind. I'll start helping to get the kids
There is
ready.
no real like kitchen in here.
Yeah.
We have like dried goods, though. You said
you do,
right?
yes.
Like,
you and just to, I know I said this in like a little blurb that I sent to you guys, but for the viewers and just to kind of reiterate, it is expected that you are to contribute to this community, but it is definitely not frowned upon to look out for yourself as well. To scavenge for yourself, to hunt for yourself, to keep stuff for yourself, as long as you give like at least half of whatever you get to the community, like on your own personal runs and stuff like that, then that's fine. There's probably been like over the past 25 years, it's not been too much of an issue, but sometimes it can be an issue of people like hoarding and like not giving what they need to the community. So probably like 4 or 5 times over the past 25 years have the council deemed it appropriate to like go into someone's apartment against their will and be like, we have enough evidence and reporting from people that you are hoarding, and every single time that has happened, all 4 or 5 times, that it has been correct, and that person has been either reprimanded, at some points even exiled. No one has ever been like no one has ever, there's been one person, there's been like 1 or 2 people who's ever been like actually like kicked out, and it's been like situations like that. It's never been because of like murder or anything like that. It's usually stuff of like, you just cannot follow the rules of living here. There have been fights that have happened. There have been like not so great situations that have occurred, but mainly most of the adversity that has happened here has been because of either the infected or natural things, or even at times like other groups of survivors. Why was I talking about that?
Breakfast.
Just to kind of describe the way like life is, and so like you can have like, you can probably start like munching on some like you like give them like little bowls of Cheerios that they can like start munching on.
Yeah, I was like, so like if we have like oats or like
exactly,
some, like could I like put some hot water and some oats and like give them a little like oatmeal or something?
For sure. There's like not like a burner or anything, but you do have like basically like a hot plate that you can like at least heat up water on.
Yeah, because like if you want tea in your own place at night.
Exactly. Yeah. But like a hot plate is like as advanced as it gets.
Yeah.
And, like some people don't even have those. You definitely would, as people with kids, like families for sure get those. But some people elect to just be like, you know, I'll just get my stuff from the mess hall. Like some people are like really. Some people. The people who are here, if you are here, you are at least willing to like follow the rules. Like people have left in the past because this is like not a way for them to want to live, and that's like totally fair. But like the people who do, like the people who are like, most people are okay with it. Most people realize like this is just the way life is now. You know, you're just a bunch of socialists.
You heard it here first, folks. Socialist apocalypse.
So you're getting ready for the morning.
Well, I definitely will put on some tea, and I use some of the water to heat up some oats for Theo. Definitely, Frankie, I don't know if he likes oats, but he never wants to eat them. So
I'll probably have some little like some Cheerios that I just bring over to let him munch on. Because he starts screaming for food first thing in the morning. I know he does every day.
He's so hungry. It's like he's growing or something.
It's almost like.
Do you want some tea?
Yes, please. Did Wes leave early?
Yeah, he went to help Brady. He said something about a run, and then he starts asking my permission. And I'm like, you don't need my permission to do things. I mean, thank you for running it by me, but it just makes me feel weird.
He's not going to be there today?
No, he told me to tell him what happens. I don't know. Did you go out last night?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see Vicky?
No, I missed her, but I saw Sean for a little bit and made it an early night. Got some good rest.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did, I swear.
If I go into your spot now. I'm not gonna find no shenanigans.
No shenanigans. I swear he was doing a round. He was doing a patrol. So I wouldn't dare take a man away from his duty.
Did he say something? Or he was
No,
just
he was just couldn't sleep. He just does that sometimes.
okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just standy.
Are you
Just,
really okay?
I mean, I sat up too late last night. I have an idea. I want to run it by May. I don't remember who it was that said it last night, but somebody said something about like a quiet something, just like additional protection or whatnot. And I don't know, it got me to thinking, like, is there some sort of thing we can do for the community for have a gathering around the time everybody's doing their runs, just because I know it's not only going to be, Wes and Derek and Zach and everybody. It's going to, people going to have loved ones going out there doing things. So I don't know. I just think it would be fun to, like, while we're all here, do something.
I think that's a nice idea. It's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm all right. Are you going out?
I don't know. If I need to, I will though.
Seeing that, I don't know why that scares me more than Wes going out.
Because he'll get scared easier. He can't protect himself out there.
Oh, shut up. He can protect himself. Well, I don't want to sit in this. Let's just go.
Let's go get some food.
Theo, quit poking him.
Well, he's chubby.
I'll scoop up
Yeah,
Frankie.
and that's good. We like him chubby. And I like
Frankie starts laughing.
Yeah. And we'll get him ready and go.
Yeah, and as you all continue your morning, Derek and Zach have woken up at their place. Zach, you wake up to Derek kind of like sitting on the edge of the bed, fully dressed, like under his breath, like going over what he's gonna say today. He gets a little nervous speaking in front of a bunch of people.
That's never a good sign.
Well, I don't want to make a fool of myself. It's been 5 years and I still don't know how to talk in front of everybody.
Can I just go back?
Hey, no, it's time to, and he like slaps you. It's time to, come on. It is time to wake up. Be a productive member of society. Also, I'm hungry and I don't want to go alone to the mess hall, so can you get up and get dressed, please?
Do I get a pass because I'm facing my impending death?
Babe, every day we're facing our impending death.
Oh,
get over yourself. And he like throws you a shirt. And we're gonna do a little bit of a time jump as you all get ready for the day. Breakfast is had. Small little conversations are had. It is now noon. The presentation is going to happen here in like 15 minutes. Everyone is starting to gather in the mess hall. You are all there. Derek and Zach are kind of in the back, having just entered. Morgan and Jenna and the boys are probably trying to find a seat so that the boys will like not be restless.
Is this like church where there's like a kid, like where there's glass and you can put the kids in there and so they cry, like the cry room or something?
No, I mean that does not exist. It's where the buffet line usually is, a like temporary stage is kind of like rolled in, and then it's like just the tables that are normally there are what are there. And Nana Adams like gets some like water pitchers and glasses for anybody who wants.
I will help. I will be helping.
Yeah,
Nana Adams.
Amazing.
She's got that book I want to borrow too.
She definitely says that Theo is. She kind of looks down at Theo with like a stack of cups. And she says, "All right now, Theo, honey, you are old enough to be helping us, so you go around and you ask people if they want a cup, and you just give them one of these cups, okay?" And Theo, like, is like looking at her and like nodding very intently, and Theo goes around and starts asking people, and everyone wants a cup from Theo, so
Yeah.
so people, even if they weren't thirsty, start grabbing cups from Theo. Zach.
I'm so proud.
Zach, as you were standing in the back, Derek kind of like kisses you on the cheek, takes a deep breath, and says, "Okay, I gotta go talk to the council. I will see you after." And he starts to head away.
Hey, breathing is important.
In? Oh, damn, he's like saying that to himself as he like keeps walking away. And then you are approached by Sylvia Fernandez. You know Sylvia. She is a pretty much she only does like security here. She's not a runner. She like is either one of the guards or one of the people that goes to the outposts. You were partnered with her quite often when you were running security. She is a formidable, intelligent woman. You guys really hit it off, became pretty good friends. Outside of Derek, could be maybe your like best friend in this place. And she is coming up to you with a look of like, I have information for you. And she kind of comes up and she says, "Hey, babe. Okay, so Vicky already knows. And you've, like, you can tell by the way she's breathing, by what's happening. You have been out of the security game since Derek's mom died, and you took over as the doctor duties. But Sylvia really liked working with you, and it's not that Vicky's not competent in what she does. She is. She's actually, like, it's one of the weird things about Vicky. It's like usually you would think like a head of security is like some stoic, like tough, badass person. And Vicky is like a badass person, but she's like super boisterous, super outgoing, and is kind of like a frat boy, but a woman, so it's tolerable. Is like Vicky's personality.
I fully get yeah.
Yeah.
I understand why.
So Sylvia's coming to you because she's like, I need to talk to somebody who will understand this information and like talk to me about it, because Vicky immediately, most likely when receiving this information, is like, all right, noted, and like goes off and like tries to like internalize it, and so Sylvia's like, okay, the park entrance didn't check in last night. And they didn't check in at noon either. Just to kind of repeat the information from earlier, the park entrance is one of the outposts, one of the three. It is at the like literal entrance of this like valley area. And when those outposts are manned by at least 2 people for 2 to 4 days. And they are supposed to check in every noon and every sundown, to just kind of like report like if they've seen anything, if they've not seen anything. And so this means that they didn't do their check-in at sundown last night, and that they didn't do their check-in that was supposed to happen just like 5 minutes ago at noon. And so that's what she drops to you, and she just says, the park entrance didn't check in last night, and they didn't check in at noon.
That's not just sorry. It's a very weird couple of days.
Yeah, I know. I'm
this
sorry.
Is...
I needed to talk.
Hey, thanks. No, I thank you for telling me. I appreciate it. This probably not to assume, because we never know, but this could potentially not just be a infected kind of a thing. This could be a thinking person's kind of thing.
That's what my gut tells me. And you would know that the park entrance is actually like, the ridge is up kind of like north, pretty far northeast of the Valley Campgrounds, and the park entrance is like mainly west and then a little bit south. So like, it was definitely not, this had nothing to do with the approaching horde.
Right, that's what, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Well,
you would immediately clock that.
Do you know what's about this speech?
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're about to talk about the horde, and she kind of like looks over, and She like nods, and you see that Vicky and May are talking, and that like council members are now being like brought into each other. It's like the meeting kind of like should have started by now. And she says, soon I think the meeting topic is maybe gonna change, or at least include a new talking point.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to tell you and not Derek. This morning, Brady and Nate were supposed to go out on a run towards the park entrance, and, well, Nate's sick, and so Brady asked Wes to help. And I needed you to know that before Derek knew it.
How long ago did they?
They left at sunrise, so it's been 7 or so hours.
We can't catch up with them.
No, and they, I mean, this was not supposed to be a long run. They should have been back by now.
I'm looking over and just kind of glance at Morgan.
As soon as you like start looking around, Derek is there talking to the other council members, and you see his hand on his chin, and he looks over at you, and his eyes are wide. And he kind of like looks back to the council members and starts talking to them some more.
I kind of instinctively my bot kind of instinctively moved to almost go to him, but I hang back. Okay, this is really shitty timing, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. In that moment, there is kind of a pause as actually hold on just a second. Okay. Sylvia is actively running security right now, and so Sylvia has a walkie on her. And the walkie starts going, and I have dry mouth. Hold on just a second. Dramatic pause. It kind of goes off. Hey, yeah, this is the Southwest Gate. We need everyone to come here. And Sylvia kind of like very confused, like, that's not the way you guys talk. We need everyone to come here. Like, what does that mean? And she kind of like goes on the radio and she says, "This is Sylvia, repeat." And they say, "Sorry, Johnson, Southwest Gate. We need security. We need the council members. We definitely need Vicky." Sylvia kind of starts nodding. She looks at you, Zach, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and she just starts running off. She runs over to get Vicky, and her and Vicky start running. Morgan, Jenna, it does not take much for both of you to immediately clock that something is going on. Derek runs over to you, Zach, and he's like, "We need to go to the front gate right now." And he grabs you and he starts going. Sorry, Morgan, go ahead.
Do we, from previous experience, have protocol to enforce whenever there is do we have a lockdown essentially?
There is definitely a lockdown that has not been called for yet.
Okay.
As of right now, this meeting is supposed to be happening, and right now it seems like it's maybe not this is not familiar. This is not charted territory.
But can we
really.
we can hear the walkies going off though?
You can hear the walkies going off, and pretty quickly, once again, tight-knit community, the adults start knowing what's going on and start telling each other, and you guys catch wind of of what's actually happening. which is you don't know because no one really knows, but people are saying like we need to get to the front gate. And like they're saying that the security and that the council members need to go, but like mainly all of the adults are going. I mean, everyone's like it's everyone. Like everyone thinks it's everyone's business, you know.
Okay. I gotta go. Or can you leave the kids with someone? Are you coming? Are you staying?
May comes up to you, Morgan, and looks at you, and she says, "You can go, or I can go. I don't care."
I don't.
She looks at you, and she grabs your shoulders, and she grabs your face, and she says, "Morgan, if it's Wes, you need to go. I'll be with the kids, okay?
It's not Wes.
If you need to be here with me right now, okay? I'm gonna be with the kids. You need to go, okay? Nod your head. You need to go. You need to go.
I'll go.
And she looks at you, Jenna, like, take her.
Wait.
Gonna grab your
Theo, you give
kind of looks
give Frankie his dinosaur. I know you took it this morning.
Okay.
And you be a big boy and you stay with Auntie May, okay? With Mimo May.
With Mimi, or everyone stay with Mimi?
Yeah, you stay with Mimi.
Okay.
And make sure that Frankie eats his food, okay? Make sure if you guys have lunch together that
is Dad
Frankie
back?
eats. Dad's coming back. I'm gonna go get him.
Okay. Okay, bye, Mom. And he's like starts
bye.
messing with Frankie. She looks at you, May, and is like nodding her head. All of you run to the southwest gate. Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Is it? And you can say no, and that's totally fine. Would it be possible that I would have had my bow kind of with me after last night?
I mean, I would say, well, because if you here, I'll take you to the map real quick. If you look, the mess hall is kind of on the opposite side of the southwest gate, so I could say easily, Zach like looks at like it would not be an issue at all for you to be like, I'll be right there, and if you jog while the rest of everybody else is walking, you can jog to your place, get your bow.
Yeah, I am I'm jogging to my house.
Your abode.
Yeah, and just kind of while I'm moving, muttering under myself, stance, knock, hook, grip,
yes,
set,
yeah.
draw, anchor, transfer.
It allows you to like
release.
not hyperventilate this like mantra that you've like had for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately like imagery of like saying this over to yourself because you're traveling alone in the middle of a dense forest. Like, you got this. This is like you've been through worse. So it's like, you remind yourself of that and you go. Eventually, everyone arrives at the southwest gate. Just all three of you. Just as the gates open. And as the gates open, you all see a horse come clotting in with a figure on it. You immediately clock at the figure, the way that it's kind of like swaying is not actually holding on to the horse, as you see a headless Brady riding in to this settlement, the head of Brady firmly stuck into the lap of himself, with his mouth on the reins of the horse as the horse clods in. Immediately, someone faints. There's immediate gasps and screams. Some people did not think to give their kids to someone else, and eyes are immediately like covered and pulled away. Derek just looks at you, Zach, like this is not something that any of you have ever seen. Zach's maybe the closest to seeing an atrocity like this, but like not even Zach has seen something to this level. Like, this is crazy. You all see Sean immediately go into action, and he runs forward to like rein in the horse and bring in the horse. Penny runs forward to like help him out. Do any of you do anything?
I would run forward and help as well.
Okay, yeah.
You
don't have to do anything. You don't have to.
No, I'm because I have this. The intensity is familiar.
Yes.
I don't think that they. Is there any like sign or like a tag or something that would indicate if there's a certain group of people that maybe was doing something?
You don't currently see
A calling card.
any sign or a calling card of any kind. Yeah, not currently. No, you would not see anything like that.
Cool. So other than that, I am stationed, I think, like almost like bodyguard way, like slightly back and to the right of Derek, and I have like an arrow just ready.
You hear your name, Zach, and you look up, and on the like catwalk that is above the gate where you can get up to, you see Sylvia, and her eyes are wide, and she's like,
I will pass Derek, squeeze his wrist as I move, and go up to join Sylvia.
As you get up there, the rest of you start to hear the sound of many different hooves hitting the ground. And the gates are closed again, as out of a foggy forest ride some figures on horseback. 5, 15, 20. You see them all begin to walk forward, and they are led by one figure that you have never seen before. He is wearing black-rimmed glasses. He's a young man with a beard. And he has stark white hair that is coiffed back as he just kind of saddles up, walking forward. You see some dastardly looking folks start to approach your camp. One man, leather jacket with a scarred face on him, walking forward. You see a woman with short black hair walk forward. You see all kinds of individuals, some with flat out masks over their face, start to walk forward on their horses. All of them.
This is just he can see it, not all of us.
If you go up to the wall and look through the cracks, you can see it as well. You see that they have rifles on their back. Some of them have them pointed directly at all of you. And this posse of people ride forward and kind of stop. And you see the main man, like, rein in his horse. And he looks at the rest of you. And he says, "Oh, good morning, Blue Valley."
Is there any way, because I'm still one of the only people that can see this group, right?
The group in their entirety, yes. It's like you, Sylvia, and then Johnson, who's up there on the actual parapet. Everyone else is like looking through cracks. And the gates are like now shut, but as they were shutting, you all saw these people like approach. But you were one of 3 people who can currently see everybody. Yeah.
If it's possible, I don't know what's going on. Could I possibly, without making it super obvious, still facing them, kind of like signal from behind me that there needs to be a lockdown, like people need to.
Yeah, you immediately like kind of back in your security training, you like make a gesture for like everybody, and then you pull down your fist, but you do it like behind your back, and immediately you hear Derek under his breath being like, "Okay, everyone, we need to get inside now. We need to get inside." And he starts like, so Morgan, Jenna, he doesn't really go up to the 2 of you. He's mainly going up to like the older people, and like younger people. But you, Jenna, you are like, you're a runner. You're not necessarily security, but no one would stop you from staying out. Morgan, people would try to get you inside, but no one would fight you too horribly much. What do the 2 of you do?
I want to say Morgan, you go make sure May and the kids are safe. I'm gonna grab my gun and my knife, and then we're gonna come back here, I think.
Where was that? Was Nate? What? Or that was Brady. Where?
Yeah.
That was Brady, right?
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
Brady. That was Brady. Where's Wes?
I don't know.
As
I
soon
don't
as
know,
you
but I
say
think if
that,
we're gonna deal
Morgan,
with-
you hear the voice from the other side. I bet you're wondering where your other friend is. Well, let me just tell you that he is safe and sound, my sweet friends. You see, we have him in our custody. Nice to meet all of you. You can just call me the white-haired man. You see, me and my friends here, we're new to this area. Just started a settlement not too far from here. And we were aware of your existence, but we thought better to leave you alone. Let you do what you needed to do. But then we had things of ours stolen. And even worse, we had one of ours killed, slain in cold blood. And we tracked their murderer back to this fine campground. So you see here, this we consider an act of war. But seeing as how we are trying to keep a civilized society here in this world that we live in now, we are going to be good, noble citizens of this fine rock. And we're going to give you a second chance. You see, in a week's time, we're going to come back here. And when we do, we expect two things. Or should I say three? One, 175 pounds worth of food. We demand that because our slain communal member happened to weigh right around $175. Pounds. Secondly, 175 pounds of ammunition. And finally, the murderer of our kind companion, tied up in a bow. And we will be coming back in a week's time. And there might be more of us. And I am either going to be very happy to see you, or I am not. I advise you, and you see this man look directly at you, Zach. I advise you to make sure I am very happy to see you. Kind of keeps looking around. And if you dare try to follow us, well, your friend, the one that we have, well, let's just say that your other friend that we returned to you, he would have gotten the better end of the deal. And trust me, we will know. You see, these little friends of mine here, you see tons of people around him. About probably, now that you're looking at it, 20 strong. We are just few of many. We will be back for our payment. I promise you that. Good day, Blue Valley. And as swiftly as he came in, you see this man turn his horse around and start to leave. Most of his posse continues with him. Few, probably around 7 or 8, stay back, looking stoically just straight at the walls. A couple still have their guns trailed on you. And then one by one, they leave and eventually get out of sight.
We're clear.
Sylvia looks at you, Zach. What the fuck are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Zach, what are we gonna do?
I don't.
Oh god, and she just like climbs down. Johnson, who's just like this normal dude, redheaded, kind of wears a jacket all the time. He looks at you. He kind of shakes his head. I'll stay up here. I'll keep watch. Don't worry.
I just nod and go down.
No. Morgan, Jenna, what do you guys do? By the way, now at this point, Brady has been taken off of his horse. His horse has been taken away. Brady's body has been covered in cloth for the time being. The scene has mainly been cleared, definitely of any adolescents. And those who are standing here, including Derek, are just reeling from what happened. Theo's there. Chris Knight is there. Olive is there. Vicky's there. Sean's there.
Does anyone know who recently would have been on patrol? Know something about this?
I look at Morgan.
What? It was not Wes.
No, I'm not saying it was.
If it was Wes, they would have killed him.
That's true. That's true.
They're looking specifically for the person that.
I mean, I don't know if anybody would murder someone if they didn't. No, it was
Penny walks up to you, Zach, and gives you the log of people who have signed out horses recently. And
okay.
Go ahead and make a search check for me. And Morgan, make a sense check. Vibe check.
Search is my best. Dealio.
I'm gonna use my big dice. Morgan is like gripping Jenna's hand with like a death grip right now, trying to stay up.
That's a 19 search.
19, okay.
15 vibe.
15 vibe. With your vibe check, it's hard to know. It's hard to read the room. You, especially because Morgan herself is like pretty kind of like shell-shocked right now. And it seems like everyone is kind of shell-shocked. So even with the 15, you don't really notice much other than everybody is freaked out.
Yeah.
But with a 19 search check, you are not necessarily familiar with every single thing going on with the Blue Valley campgrounds, but you are familiar enough to know at least the runners and like who they are. You start going through the list and nothing really seems out of the ordinary. You see all the runners, most of them reporting back nothing. You start looking at handwriting. You start looking like, is there anything here that points out to me? And then there is something that you notice. There is a person who signed out a horse recently who doesn't usually sign out a horse. And it's Theo Saunders.
All right. I need some time, everybody, to look at this.
Obviously,
I can't figure anything out right now.
Everybody, Derek kind of speaks up and he's like, everybody, if you're an adult and you want to be a part of the conversation, doesn't matter if you're a council member, doesn't matter what your standing is, what your role is, we're going to meet in the mess hall and we're going to talk about this now. So everybody in 1 hour, meet at the mess hall. And people start kind of like nodding their heads and like dispersing. Brady's body is taken care of gracefully and moved to most likely the main hall, most likely for Zach's further examination, should he choose to do it. The rest of you are kind of left to your own devices. You know that in an hour that mess hall meeting will happen.
Go
ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna.
Morgan, Jenna, what do you think you two do?
I'm just like staring at Morgan, waiting for her to decide what the next move is.
Sean comes up and just kind of stands next to the two of you, but doesn't really say anything. Just kind of stands there.
Would I know? I mean, I would know. Yes, I would. Did Brady have a partner or family, or was he attached in any way?
Brady was a bit of a loner. He came in with the coach and the other football players, and didn't really know many people. I mean, was a nice guy and liked, but didn't really have like family or loved ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
The boys are probably wondering where I'm at.
What are you gonna tell them?
I don't know. What do you tell?
I mean, just tell them. You know.
I don't know.
Tell them their dad's still out on a big important mission, and it's just gonna take them a little longer. They're used to him being gone for a couple days at a time sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
They'll be all right.
Morgan, I don't know if I can do this.
You're Morgan.
Jenna, I ruined the moment.
No, you didn't.
Let's take it back.
You're in it.
Jenna, I don't know if I can do this. Jenna, I can't do this.
Morgan, I'm right here. I'm with you. We have to do this. And hey, we've done things a lot harder than this.
Okay.
Let's just go make sure those boys are okay, and then we'll figure this out.
Okay. And I'll
Okay,
walk.
so you two head to most likely your place. Actually, most likely May's place. Probably head to May's place.
Yeah, we'll go to May's place.
And as you leave to go, Derek is just kind of looking at you, Zach.
Yeah, I
and you see
put the log under my arm and I make my way towards him.
You see that he is fuming and is really holding it together.
Yeah, I will reach out with my right hand and just take his, but leaning forward so that it's just kind of we're kind of close.
Yeah.
I need you to find Theo. Do you know where he is?
And he kind of looks off to the side. You actually see Theo kind of like roll a vibe check. I love vibe check.
18.
18. With an 18 vibe check, you see that Theo and Chris are like arguing over to the side. He kind of says, "What? You need to talk to Theo? Why?"
There's a discrepancy on the log. His is the only one that doesn't match up with our regular patrols.
He took a horse out?
What I would like to do is talk to him.
You want me there?
I want to talk to him, have him explain it to us, so that way when we go to the council and tell everyone this shitty situation, we can have a plan.
You want me there or not? Or do you want me to just have you talk?
You know, my natural instinct in this time is to say that you should go find Wes.
God damn it.
He looks at you and he says, he squeezes your hand tight.
Yeah.
And he says, Zach, I am going to go get my friend. No matter what we decide in that meeting, you need to know that. I'm not leaving him out there in those people's hands. I'm not doing that.
Well, then I guess May's going to be down 2 people for the horde.
He kind of nods and he squeezes your hand, and he walks over towards Theo. Chris starts to run. And Theo looks at you wide-eyed, and he starts to run as
Theo?
well.
Fuck.
And he starts to go, and you need to make a are you trying to stop him?
Yeah.
Yeah, make a brawn check because he rolled really low on his agility check.
Oh.
You can do this at advantage, but he is
Nice.
going to try to use an agility check to get, or a parkour check to get away from you. But you get a brawn check.
My brawn is real bad. Before
He rolled a natural 1, so you just have to not roll 2 natural ones in order to.
I didn't. I rolled a 10 on the first one.
Okay, great.
And then a 3 on the second. So 10 is my total. Because
he turns to start to run after Chris and just falls to the ground.
I will just nodding sideways to Derek. Just say, Chris, signaling him that he needs to.
He nods and sprints off.
I go to Theo.
Theo looks up at you.
Theo,
and
hey.
He just starts crying. Zachariah.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over there by that tree, just right over there. It's just gonna be you and me. I do have my bow, but that is because I brought that with me. I will not touch it. I'm not going to use it. What we're going to do is we're gonna have a talk.
Okay.
And we're just going to run through what happened, okay?
He's like breathing really deep. Go ahead and roll a convince check for me. And I'm going to say this is an advantage as well.
Because you have a bow.
You convinced me. And you have a bow.
You said convince? Okay.
Convince check, yeah.
Oh, that was so close to being extremely good. It's still pretty good. 16.
16. He looks at you and he says, okay. And he like looks over his shoulder towards the direction of Chris and just kind of like nods his head and looks at you, and he walks over to the side with you. We're gonna cut to Morgan and Jenna walking inside the house of May Donaldson. As you walk in, you see that Vicky is sitting at the table with May. Basically, she's just finished filling May in on what happened. And then Vicky kind of stands up and looks at the two of you and doesn't say anything, but just kind of like gives you a look of like maybe annoyingly so to your from your point of view, but like she can't help it, like a look of pity, and then just kind of like nods her head and then like leaves and walks past you. May looks up at you, Morgan. Hi, honey.
Where are the boys?
They're in Wes's old room.
And I'll peek in. Are they? Because it is noon.
You peek in, and they are conveniently napping.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Mother's instinct.
Yeah.
I will shut the door really quietly, and I will look back at May. And I'm an idiot.
What?
I'm an idiot. I should not have let him go. I had a feeling, and I did not trust it.
Honey, what are you talking about?
I
She immediately gets up and,
It
like,
is not your fault.
puts a hand on your shoulders and, like, honestly, it's like, is so thankful that she has someone else to care for in this moment. And, like, puts you down and immediately starts, like, getting out the hot plate to warm up some water for some tea.
I was actually gonna say that, like, as soon as I see, like a minute ago, as soon as I saw May start to break down, I started to heat up some water for tea.
Okay, perfect. Honey, what are you talking about? This is not your fault.
Jenna, I trust my gut. You
Hey,
know this.
Morgan,
I
just
understand
sit down.
that, but
Honey, sit down for me. Will you just sit down for me, please? What are you talking about? What's going on? What do you mean?
He wasn't supposed to be out there. He was helping out a friend, and he asked me.
What, are you going to
You know
tell
when
Wes
he
Donaldson not to help out a friend?
No, but I knew something was off, and I felt it. And I know it wasn't about him, and I know it's not about him, but something is off. And when I feel it, I'm supposed to trust my gut. And every time I don't trust my gut, something happens.
Hey, this is not your fault. This is the fault of that man out there. What did he call himself? The white-haired man? What kind of pompous asshole?
White-haired man and someone murdered their people. Who here is going to murder anybody?
No one. They're lying, and we're clearly going to deal with them justly so. We are not going to be giving them anything. I'll tell you that much right now. And we're going to get my son back.
We gotta get Wes back.
Yes, we will. Trust me, I know Derek was already probably thinking about putting together a team.
I'll get him back.
Jen, I don't want you to go out there too.
I have to.
You don't have to do anything.
Yes, I
Wes
have
didn't have to go
I'm not
help
gonna-
Brady.
Well, he did. And now I have to go get him back.
And then the same thing's going to turn around and happen to you.
You don't know that?
Well, maybe you should make sure it doesn't.
Who? I should make sure that it doesn't.
Morgan,
I should go out there and make sure it doesn't.
Morgan.
I should go out there.
Yes, maybe.
What am I gonna? I'm useless out there.
Morgan,
You're not useless.
you are the only one that I trust not to be an idiot.
Hey,
Sorry. You're the only one that I trust not to make a rash decision. You are the only one that I trust
Not much better.
to make sure if there is any chance that my boy can come back, he will not let any of you put yourselves in danger. But if he knows that you're out there, he'll come running. He'll do anything to keep you safe. Morgan, I'm not trying to use you, and you can say no. But if we decide to send people out there, the only chance I feel like of Wes not just giving himself up or doing something so that the others will turn back is if you're with them. And you know I'll watch the boys. You know Nana Adams will watch the boys. I can't. I'm too old, Morgan. Please don't let me lose my boy. Please. She just kind of starts crying.
I look at Jenna. What do I do?
I don't know, Morgan. I hate it, but I think she's right. I mean, he's stubborn. If he thinks other people are in danger, he won't. He won't let anybody else get hurt for him, and he'll kill himself over it. And
I hate this man.
Morgan, I won't let anything happen to you out there.
Where's Derek?
As you kind of say that, and as you continue to talk, Nana Adams enters, being sent by Becky, who was sent by May. Nana kind of like looks at you and tells you, like, it gives you a hug and tells you everything's gonna be okay, and she's there to watch the kids.
Well,
so
thank
that,
you, Nan.
So that you, May, and Jenna can head to the mess hall for the conversation. And as you head to the mess hall for the conversation with everybody, we cut back to Theo and Zach. So you kind of where do you take Theo?
I would just picture like this, like whatever, like a kind of nearby tree, like kind of a
Okay,
calming
yeah.
space that
For
was
sure.
away from anything else.
Yeah, I would say you kind of like take him to just like a tree that purposefully was left there just so that you still had trees, you know.
Actually,
Um,
what is Theo's like main job like around
Theo actually is very he's like a handyman, and that's what he just found himself to be very good like crafts. So
Okay.
he is actually his council position is he is head of overall community maintenance. So like anytime like a part of the wall
Right,
goes down
right,
or a
that's
part
right.
of the buildings go down or something like that, he is like the head of like getting that figured out. He is kind of super disorganized in his real life and kind of like a party guy, but when it comes to like engineering and like math and like putting the round peg into the round hole, he's just like he's very good at that, you know what I mean?
Great. So I'm just gonna. Hey, so like I said, we're just gonna talk. Actually, you know what? The tree over there. I know that the swing on the tree is actually kind of broken. So
Oh
we
yeah,
can
I've been
work on
meaning
that
to
we can work on that together.
Okay,
And
yeah.
we'll figure it out. We'll talk
And
through things, okay?
he just kind of walks over and um he leans up against the tree and he kind of looks at you and he just starts shaking his head. Didn't mean for any of this to happen, Zach.
You know, I know.
But-
Come on. You're not an idiot.
Oh, my sister's gonna be.
Well, yeah, but that's a day ending in letter Y, right? Come on, it's okay. Listen, you heard, obviously, what that creepy Cruella de Vil motherfucker had to say? Like, you know that we're not gonna give you up, right?
But if you don't, Wes is gonna die. I'm such an idiot.
This isn't, listen to me, hey, this isn't an either or situation. We've survived for a very long time, going out and doing things that we thought were completely impossible.
Zach,
How many, I mean, the amount of shit that's been thrown at us over the years. I mean, you know, infection from an outbreak a few years ago. That was, we got through that. And I mean, when that freaky motherfucker left with all those other people, we, for a while, thought, hey, that's a real blow. But we got through that. We continuously get through really rough shit, okay? This is just another, admittedly, really terrible thing, and the timing is not great, but...
All right.
Wes is not... Look at me. Wes isn't dead.
Brady died. We didn't mean for any of this. And he just starts. He has been begging for the opportunity to get all of this off his chest, even though he didn't know it, you know? And he just unloads on you. And he just starts saying, basically, I'm not going to roleplay it, but he tells you that Chris Knight was out on a run and came across a new group of people from a distance and looked like they were traveling, and he basically used the opportunity to like sneak up to like see what was going on, and didn't end up finding out much about the group because he came across a just to put it as bluntly as possible, he came across a stash of cocaine that this party had, and he took it and immediately sprinted and left. He came back and he showed it to Theo, and Theo, you can see a lot of regret in Theo as he talks about how they just wanted to have a fun time, the world's ending, this is like, he didn't mean for any of this to happen, like this is just like, he was just, all they do is eat at the mess hall, and like, you know, you just see him like say all this stuff, and like, and you can see like, roll a vibe check for me.
17.
With a 17, you can see that some of the words that he's saying when he describes this to you are not his. They are like, as in like, it seems like Chris did a lot of convincing here and did a lot of like manipulating and Theo into thinking that this was a good thing to do and a fine, okay thing to do. Theo had a lot of autocracy and was still culpable and still did stuff, but you just see like, you know Theo. You've known him for a long time. And he says that when they ran out, that was when Theo got the horse and went with him. And you look at the book and you see that the person who was traveling with Theo was Chris. And they apparently went to find the group, and they found where they were. They were about 25-30 miles outside of the valley, which is like about 60 miles outside of the campgrounds. So they were gone. Theo and Chris were gone for like at least 2.5-3 days. And you know, when he was gone, just kind of said that he like, you kind of remember vaguely Derek mentioning Theo said like Derek when you told him about the horse thing was like confused about it, but he actually, now that you think about it, Derek even mentioned Theo saying something about the fact that he was just like felt a little cramped and like wanted to go out, and so him and Chris were going to go to the park entrance for a few days. So not only did this happen, but that also means they left the park entrance unposted for a few days. Which who knows what that means. And he said that when they found them, like I said, about 60 miles outside of the campgrounds, at a big, like, superstore and its parking lot that had been made into like kind of a smaller settlement. And they went to like kind of the outskirts to like see what was going on, to see if they could like get in and like find, you know, more. They were approached by a guard, and Theo just got spooked and was scared and turned around and shot and killed the guy. And because they made a gunshot, they just booked it and were careless and must have left a pretty obvious trail. And this actually happened like a week and a half ago. And so you know that like these people have known where you've lived for like a week and a half. Who knows if this is the first time they've actually been at your campground? Is the thought that immediately jumps into Zach's mind. And he just kind of like spills all that out, and by the end of it is just sobbing. I didn't mean for it. I just didn't mean for this to happen, man.
I'm trying to keep my face as like neutral, as possible. I'm gonna take a moment. Well,
before you start talking, you see Derek come up just like kind of in the background, like he's making sure that Theo can't see him, and he looks at you and he makes eye contact and he says, he couldn't get him. He couldn't get Chris.
So I'm gonna make sure that Theo does not see Derek.
Yeah, Derek like knows what you're doing and like stays back. Great. Yeah.
Great.
He was just letting you know. I couldn't get Chris, but I'm here, but I'm back here.
Yeah. So for my pause, go. Well, firstly, I'm kind of bummed that my just say no talks didn't actually work that well. Apparently,
you see a slight chuckle come out of him.
Theo, here's what's going to happen. We're all going to be meeting, you know this, to discuss what the next steps are going to be. We're going to have to explain what happened. It's the only thing that's fair
No, it's the least,
to the group.
it's the least I can do.
Right. We need to have as much information going into this.
Yeah.
What I will say is you were explaining things to me. Derek is talking with Chris. Derek is getting Chris's accounts. And you know Derek, he's very perceptive. He frustratingly kind of remembers everything that comes out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
Derek and I are going to have to talk. And if either your stories completely don't match up, or if there are some weird similarities, probably going to have to talk to you both again.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to have to talk with Chris, which means Derek's going to have to talk to you. So that being said, is there anything you want to... you can cop if you weren't telling the whole truth to me. And if you tell me now, again, this is going to be a way better situation for everyone, including Wes. Okay?
I've really screwed up here, Zach. But I'm doing everything I can, and I will do everything I can to fix it. I promise you I'm telling the truth.
There's nothing else that you...
Yes. I wanted to say something earlier and tell everybody. Chris just said it wasn't a good idea, and I don't know. He was just scared, and he didn't do anything. It was me. I'm the one who did it.
I'm going to ask you a really hard question. Do you think if we get a team to go and get Wes, that you would be a benefit to the group and not a detriment?
If there's anything that I can do to get my brother-in-law back, I will do it. I won't slow anybody down.
Okay, I think we have something that we can present to everybody. I think we have depending on how things went with Derek, I think we have something that we can present to them. Okay, hey, why don't you go straight to the mess hall, hang out there, get something to drink, get some... Okay, water to drink.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And hang out there. We're going to be convening pretty shortly. So just hang out there. And
Okay.
we'll be there. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And he just kind of slowly walks away, and once he's firmly enough away, Derek walks up to you. Gotta go.
Well, things considered, it's not good.
Did it?
And I'll explain
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
the cocaine, the supermarket of Colony.
Yeah.
And everything. And after all that, so he's freaked. Mr. Lucas.
At the end of you coming up with all of that, you guys are approached by Sylvia, who immediately says, Vicky got him. We've been talking to him. And Derek's like, oh, really? And basically, for the sake of brevity, she tells you everything that Chris said. Chris says the exact same story, but says that Theo was pushing him the whole time. And that it's like he wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for Theo, like begging to take him out and begging to like, yeah. And so like Sylvia kind of says like, isn't that crazy that Theo would do that? Like I just can't even believe that. And Derek's like, yeah, that is crazy. And he kind of looks over at you like, we now have two very similar but very different stories.
I'll turn to Derek. See, this is why we never go for the bad boy.
He like kisses you on the cheek and is like, yes, you're completely correct. And he takes you by the hand and you all walk to the mess hall as well. As you walk into the mess hall, Morgan and Jenna, you've been there for a minute, just kind of like everybody is like getting tables together and like putting them in like a big circle, and everybody's sitting on like the inside of the circle bench, so like no one's sitting on the outside benches, if that makes sense. So that it could just be like a big circle with everybody, and that's like starting to happen. Morgan, you see your brother come in. You see that he goes and like gets some water. He doesn't come up to you, and that's weird.
I'm like looking at him like
he's avoiding
like waiting
contact.
he's avoiding that contact. I'll go up to him. Because he and Wes are, hey, you alright?
Hey, I'm so... And he gets up and he hugs you and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just really shook by everything that's happened.
Yeah.
I should have said something. I'm sorry.
No,
and he kind of like looks at you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Wes
we're gonna get him back. We're gonna...
I don't know if...
Get him back.
We should be... I don't know if you're gonna want to be near me here in a few minutes.
What are you saying?
Jeff looks around. And he looks at the door and sees Zach and Derek enter. And he looks back at you and tears start streaming down his face. And he doesn't say anything, but he says everything.
Theo.
So sorry.
I slap him as hard as I can in the fucking face.
Everybody turns to look.
Hey.
Yeah,
hey,
but
guys.
like Derek runs up too and like...
Hey.
I only
Hey,
slap him
everybody.
the once and then I back up.
Hey,
Let's all just take a deep breath.
Morgan, you want to come with me for a second?
I'll let myself, be led by...
Yeah, so Zach
I
just
come
kind
as
of...
well.
Zach kind of takes you away. Jenna gets up, running over. Derek then kind of like starts to console Theo. Not console, calm.
Yeah, you better fucking console him.
And okay, so Zach, Jenna, and Morgan, you've kind of been pulled off into like a little side that section.
It was him.
All right. Do you guys?
Did you know about this? And I point to Zach.
Do you want shitty news or the shittier news?
What is happening?
Okay.
The shittier
What?
news.
All right. Well, there is a basically a fucking Mall of America full of horrible people. That is the group that Theo and Chris accidentally fucked with when they were searching for more cocaine.
Cocaine?
And that is said like loud, like everybody like
I
turns and
turn
looks
around
over.
to Chris and or not Chris, Theo, and I run back towards him.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
people get in the middle of the two of you and start like pushing you apart.
I know, my
Theo,
PSAs were
goddamn
really
it.
shitty, you guys. We'll have to learn on that. We're going to work on that collectively because we all say, what? No! Okay, more kid, come on.
Derek,
Fucking dare talk over here.
Derek, Jenna, and Zach take Morgan fully out of the mess hall at this point. To not.
She's trying to slap him again.
Yeah. You have now
Like
been
swinging for him.
You've unless Jenna or Zach choose not to do that, but yeah, I think that kind of all three of them have now taken Morgan outside of the mess hall. Hey, I understand. Okay, Morgan, you have every right to be mad, but this isn't solving anything right now.
Frat boy?
This isn't solving anything right now,
Listen.
Morgan.
I'm with them, right?
Yeah, all four of you
Yeah,
are
that's
out
right
there.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Theo and I talked, and I think it's a good idea if he comes with us to do this. He knows where they are. He cares about Wes. When not under fucking Chris Knight's thumb, makes pretty level-headed choices. I sure as fuck don't want Chris on this trip.
Okay, well, let's just get something clear here, babe. You're not saying that he's with us to get Wes out of there. We're not taking him to them, right?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but if anybody's going to put their life on the line for this, I mean, it better as hell be him. Sorry, Morgan.
I cannot have a trip in which my husband is gone, I am gone, and the only sole survivor of my family is also with us. Like, what is going to happen to my boys? What is going to happen to my children?
They're gonna have their dad in their arms in a few days' time. That's what's gonna
We
happen.
don't know that.
Morgan, you're
They'll be
you're the most positive one here out of all of us. Anything can happen, right? You're always saying that.
Yeah, when I'm the optimistic one in the situation, we need to be really freaked the fuck out.
And besides, Morgan, what do you mean you're gonna be going? You should stay here with the kids, right?
Dare. Come on.
I'm
Okay.
going along with y'all.
And Derek kind of like, his eyes go wide, and he like, and seeing what Morgan says, he gets it, and like Zach didn't even have to have it explained to him, but Derek had to take a second. He's like, fucking Wes. He's not gonna let any of us get close to him unless Morgan's there.
And he will not expect that.
Theo said they're about 60 miles away from...
How did we not
Us.
notice that Theo was... Wait, is this when he said that he was at the camp entrance?
Yeah, the base shitty news was that Chris and Theo left the post unguarded for some time that was longer than a day.
So that place might be compromised now.
Yeah, look, we can deal with the bureaucratic gesture to their council stuff
Yeah.
whenever this is resolved. But we have one of our own that is being... We need to help one of our own. Yeah, it comes at the absolute worst possible time, but
He would do the same.
so does
for us.
everything, right? Yeah.
He would do the same for us.
It's never a great time for a kidnapping infected horde combination.
I'd have killed that right here. Hey, listen. This is the council member and me speaking probably, but what are we going to do about the horde? If we're going to be gone, if it's 60 miles away, we're not going to be here when the horde is supposed to be here.
That's yeah, because that was that's 4 days out, and they gave us a week, but I
Can't fight a horde.
well, here's a shitty idea, but it's the only idea that I have. Those of us,
I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
highly doubt it. Those of us that have like structural planning, those of us that are really good with weapon construction, can stay, fortify as much as we possibly can in the span of 4 days from the direction that we're anticipating this horde coming. If we make fine time, maybe we get back with Wes in time to meet the horde. And we hope that way.
Okay, that isn't where I thought you were going, but I have maybe another idea. What if we fucking take the horde to them?
I wondered that. That was when they were talking. My first thought was to redirect them, but they know a lot about us. It would be hard to convince them to veer really off course when they know where we, sleep.
Right, how would they not think that it had something to do with that? They're probably aware of the horde too.
Yeah, my first thought was that we somehow make them think that we weren't, or that the person they're looking for is farther direction, but hey, that's not the case.
They had 20 people heavily armed. I mean, how are we supposed to get Wes out?
Of a fucking mall. Yeah. I
Very
don't.
carefully.
I mean, you all didn't even notice at this point. But Sean steps forward as he's been kind of listening to this conversation.
Jesus.
Sorry.
That's it.
Exactly. We need a small team of people. Something small that is quiet and can infiltrate, and I happen to have quite a bit of experience doing.
I think you're right about the small group. It's not about trying to outnumber them. It's about trying to outsmart them.
And somehow we have to, and this is Derek speaking, and somehow we have to find a way to let Wes in the settlement know that we're coming and that Morgan is with us. How are we supposed to do that?
This is different. It's different because it's Wes, but also we all know it's different when it's a person with light in their eyes. It's a different situation, so. And obviously not saying this out loud, but thinking, I just think back to the last time I had to do that, when I had to put an arrow between the eyes of Derek's mom. It's different.
Yeah.
It's really different.
Okay, well, guess now what we have to do is we have to go in there and convince everybody else to let us handle this.
I don't
You
think they
will.
have much choice.
They'll let us.
I'll say this. Not only is Chris not coming, someone needs to, I don't know about watch him, but
No. You're right. Someone needs to watch
kill
it.
him.
well, that's kind of a two thing. It's preventing him from getting out and taking supplies of them on the way out, and also prevents someone from a little bit of revenge.
Yeah.
Theo,
Mm.
I think Theo should be the one to explain.
Derek looks over at you, Morgan. Can you be in this room right now? I'm not judging, but I need to know.
Can I be in what right now?
In this room.
Your brother is about to admit that he got your.
And once again, I'm not judging, but what I'm asking is here is, can you remain calm right now, Morgan? I don't blame you for not acting calm, but I do need to know.
I truly can't tell you.
Well, then maybe just stand by the door. And as the 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you walk into the mess hall to discuss with everyone what is to be done, that is where we are going to end our first session of the Remains.
Oh, goodness.
So in this next week, I encourage you to use our chat to kind of maybe do some planning so that next week we can start with a plan of what you want to do. Hey, welcome to the Remains. This has been a very fun first session. I know I've really enjoyed myself. So if you want to watch more of this, tune in pretty much, I think every Wednesday. We will confirm that, but every Wednesday in November, 6 p.m. Central.
And December and January.
And yeah, I mean, well, who knows? 6 p.m. Central. And then this coming Sunday, we're going to have a level 21 shot with our Rubrian characters coming back. That's going to be a lot of fun. So come
Level 20 wizard.
watch that at 2 p.m. Central this coming Sunday. And then Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, featuring all of us that you see on your screen as the players. We are going to be spending a lot of time with you this November. We are going to be doing a Longshot in the Candlekeep series that we've kind of been consistently doing with JMO as the DM. So lots of content coming at you in November. You can watch it on Twitch on demand. You can watch it on YouTube. You can consume it auditorially through Spotify. It is there for you. Stay tuned at Charmed Persons on any social media. And thank you to my lovely players, the best players a DM can ask for. And as always, everybody say bye!
Bye!